Azure data engineers are in demand, but you need to master Azure Data Factory for that. So in this 4 hours long Azure Data Factory course, you will become a pro developer from scratch, because in this course you will gain strong hands-on with complex real-time scenarios using activities such as data validation, parameterized datasets for each activity, if condition, hierarchical pipelines, pulling data directly from the APIs, transforming data using data flows, and you will also learn about how to use schedule triggers, tumbling window triggers, and storage event triggers. And at the end, you will build an end-to-end automated triggered parent pipeline having multiple child pipelines. Sounds amazing, right? Why I have covered so much in this course? Because the competition is very high right now, and I want you to become competitive enough to crack the interviews. So, are you excited to master this tool? And I know your answers. So let's do it. Welcome. Welcome to Azure Data Factory full course, and obviously for free. So, does it mean like it is not worth it? No, obviously. If you have watched my previous videos, you know the quality of content that I provide to you. So, free doesn't mean that it is not worth it. It is very much worth it. So, if you are new to my channel, you can just hit the subscribe button, because I just upload long format videos and I just try to provide the real knowledge related to data engineering for free. And obviously, you can just read the comments in the previous videos and you will get to know how useful they are. And to all my previous viewers, you need to just hit that subscribe button. Why you are not hitting that button? Just tell me. I'm just putting like lots of efforts. I just try to provide you the knowledge. Why you are not hitting that subscribe button? Why? So if you haven't hit that button, just hit it right now and hit that bell icon as well. So as you know that I just upload video like on every Sunday. So just to be notified about the timings, and also just hit that bell icon as well. And it's my order. Just hit that subscribe button right now. I'm just kidding. So it's like good for you. And I was just viewing my like channel analytics, and I was like, why people are not subscribing to my channel? Like, people are loving my content, people are like watching my videos, people are liking my videos, commenting on my videos, but they are not subscribing it. So it's high time to subscribe the channel. So it's just a request from your friend, from your buddy, who is just trying to who is just trying you to just succeed in the world of data engineering. So without wasting any time, just hit that subscribe button right now. So if you have done it, I know, I trust you, you have already done that. So now let's get started with this full course. What's that? Like, why do we need to learn Azure Data Factory? First of all, Azure data engineers are in demand, right? You all know it. So if you want to become an Azure data engineer, or you want to become a data engineer who will be using Azure resources as well, so you cannot imagine any single solution without Data Factory. Trust me, Data Factory is the backbone of all the Azure data engineering solutions. Now you will think that we have Synapse Analytics right now. In future, we will be having Microsoft Fabric. Do we still need to learn Azure Data Factory? The answer is yes. Why? Let me tell you. So the thing is, if you just use Azure Data Factory, definitely Azure Data Factory is there. If you use Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory is there. We call it as pipelines slash integration services, but we use the same Azure Data Factory with the same UI. Everything is exactly same. It is just like they have embedded Azure Data Factory within Synapse Analytics. Now let's talk about Microsoft Fabric. So Azure Data Factory is there. Yes, it is like exactly same. Trust me. And even the name is same. You will just find Data Factory in Microsoft Fabric. So if you want to become someone who will be just building pipelines, who will be just migrating data from one place to another, you will be orchestrating data solutions, you need this tool. You need to learn this tool. Trust me, it is very important. So now you have the answer like why you need to learn Azure Data Factory. And in this single video, you do not need to go here and there. You do not need to watch any kind of like multi videos. No, there's like just one single video, one stop solution to your all the questions. So today you will be learning each and everything in Azure Data Factory, and trust me, from scratch. If you do not have any prior experience, no worries at all, because we will be learning everything from scratch. But what about the prerequisites? Yeah, we do have. Let me tell you. Okay, like they're really easy to cover. So first of all, laptop or PC with stable internet connection. Obviously, because if you want to learn something, you need to have one laptop or PC, or like maybe iPad, if you can just access Azure account within that, so it's fine. So second thing is Azure account. If you do not have any Azure account, so do not need to worry. I will tell you how you can create your free Azure account, and I will tell you each and everything that you need, and you do not need to pay for anything. Do not worry. Third thing obviously is excitement to learn Azure Data Factory. If you are not excited, if you are not happy, if you are not enthusiastic right now, you need to skip this video. Yeah, because you need to be excited enough to learn Azure Data Factory. It is like one of the most in-demand technology right now. And trust me, when I was learning this technology back in the days, I was so happy, and I was feeling so happy when I was just learning new things in Azure Data Factory. So it's your time to be in the same shoes and learn as much as you can. So let's get started with this basic question. What actually is Azure Data Factory? Like, what is that? We have just heard this name, maybe on LinkedIn, maybe on any other platform, or maybe in the job descriptions. But what exactly is Azure Data Factory? Please tell us. Okay. So basically, it's a cloud ETL/ELT tool. If you have not started taking notes, just do it right now. I want you to take notes because it will be very useful for you if you want to just revise those concepts, if you want to just revisit these areas again. So if it will be very handy. And obviously, if you are learning a new technology, it is very difficult to just remember all the stuff. So please start taking notes from this moment, please. So as I just said, that it is an ETL/ELT tool. So basically, when we work with big data, we do not want to transform the data first. So we just load that data. That's why it's called ETL, that is extract, transform, load. And the second one is ELT, extract, load, and then transform. Simple. Yeah. So what it does and how it does. So basically, let's take an example, because I just love just using examples so that you can just remember those examples and you can just understand the concept. So basically, let's say you have a source, any source, like you can imagine any source. Let's say this is a SQL DB, maybe your MySQL, PostgreSQL, MS SQL, any SQL DB, or any SQL DB, like any source, any source, anything. This is your maybe your SQL DB, maybe these are your CSV files. Okay, maybe this is your API. Maybe any website, like maybe HTTP connections, anything. Like you can imagine any source, any source. What it will do, it will use this resources, right? So how? I'm just explaining. Wait. So let's create the whole scenario. Let's say this is your source, right? Let's say this is your source, and this is your destination. Destination again can be anything. Maybe it's cloud, or maybe it's something else, external application. So if you want to migrate your data, if you want to migrate your data from source to the destination, you can use this powerful tool, which is Azure Data Factory. So basically, how it does that? So it has something called connectors. It has something called connectors. So it has connectors for all these sources. Like it has connectors for SQL DB, it has connectors for like APIs, HTTP connections, everything. It has connections for your destination as well. Now you'll be thinking like, what can be our destination? Again, anything. Maybe you want to store this data in, let's say, Azure Data Lake, right? Maybe let's say in S3, that is AWS. Maybe let's say Azure SQL DB, or maybe let's say external application called Dataverse. Again, like anything. So it can easily does that. Now you will say, okay, extract and load is done. Where is T? Where is T? Where is this T? How it can transform the data? It can. It can. It has something called data flows. Oh, what's that? So basically, data flows are the transformation functionality that Azure Data Factory has. So basically, these are the Spark clusters. These are like Spark that is running behind these data flows. So you can transform your data without even using one line of code. It will do it for you using GUI, that is graphical user interface. And in like behind the scenes, it will be running Spark. But actually, you are not using Spark because you are not writing any code. It's so cool. It's so powerful. Don't worry, I will tell you this thing as well, like how you can just do it. So it is like end-to-end course, and obviously you do not need to go here and there. You just need to sit and just watch one single video, one stop solution, and everything is done. Everything is done. So are you excited? I know if you were not excited before, now you are excited to learn this solution. Like what is it? Like how we can just do all these things. And again, if you do not have any prior experience, do not need to worry. We will be covering everything from scratch. If you have some experience, if you are a little bit of aware of this thing, still you will be learning a lot, because we will be sharing real-time scenarios that are asked in the interviews as well. Because obviously if you are just trying to crack the roles, you need to be experienced enough, you need to be skillful enough to actually answer those questions. And in the real time interviews, you will be asked some scenario based questions. And yes, for that as well, I have covered that area as well, and we'll be just covering each and everything. And you need to do one thing, that is just click on that subscribe button. Just do it right now. Why I'm saying this again and again? See, I'm a new creator, right? I'm very raw right now. So if you want me to grow, if you want me to just grow and help more and more people, if you want to help my dedication, my hard work that I'm putting on these videos, like long format videos, you can just hit that subscribe button, and along with that you can just like the videos, comment on the videos, and you can just share the videos with like other data enthusiasts to help others. And definitely it will be a big help for me, and I really do like I really feel happy when I just read comments. So just share your feedback on this video and on all the videos that you have watched so far. It will be a big help for me, and obviously I know my data fam, I know my data fam is really, really loyal, and they are so skillful. And my aim is just to build a strong data engineering family, and I know I'm doing that. And I need your help. So it's time to you to just reciprocate and just hit the subscribe button, share the videos with others, like, comment, and just do everything that you can to support me. And now let's create our free Azure account to just get started with this course, because obviously that is required to just learn Azure Data Factory, right? So let's create free Azure account like this. So just go to your Google tab and just write Azure free account. Let me just zoom it for you. Oops. Yeah. So just write Azure free account, and that's it. And then just hit enter, and then just click on the first link that you see. Here's the important step. Just click on this try Azure for free. Do not click on pay as you go. Pay as you go is like the paid option that you can get. So just click on try Azure for free. So then it will just ask you to put your Microsoft account. So if you do not have any Microsoft account, you can simply click on this and create one. And obviously you can use Microsoft account, because it will be very handy if you have like one Microsoft account. And nowadays it is very handy when you need to just log in through different Microsoft servers. There's the services that you can use for free. So I have already created one. So you can just click on this and just put your credentials. And trust me, if you have not created it, just create it right now. Obviously, it is a prerequisite for this course, and it will be very handy for your future use cases as well. So Once you put your credentials, you will just land on this page where you will see a kind of form that you need to fill. It's not just a form like just the basic details like your name, phone number, email ID and all. Here you can see the important stuff that you get US dollar 200 credit to use in the first 30 days. And I think these are like enough to complete this course. So do not need to worry. And you get some free services that you can use every time. That is like 55 plus free services and popular services just for the 12 months. So it is very, very, very convenient. You should just take the advantage of this opportunity and learn the your services as much as you can. One important thing that you can just note it, when you click on the sign up button, it will just ask you to put your card details and all. Do not afraid, because Azure asks you to put your details so that it can confirm that you are the person who will be using this Azure account. And you will ask like, what will happen after 30 days? So it will ask you to just upgrade your account. If you do not even reply, or if you do not even just opt in to just convert it to into your like pay as you go account, still your services will be, let's say, paused, and it will be deleted. All these service resources will be deleted. They will not be in use, but you will not get charged. Do not need to worry. Just put the details and just start learning this powerful tool. So once you have created your Azure account, now it's time to actually see the Azure portal. And how you can go to Azure portal, it is very easy. Let me show you. So you simply need to just go to the Google tab and just write portal.azure.com. Portal.azure.com. Simple. Just click on it. So it will simply take you to the Azure portal account. Whoa. Okay. Let me just click on this favorite button. So do not get afraid, because those were like my previous services. So forget about that. This is your Azure portal. This is your first Azure portal if you are the new one. So this is your Azure account, Microsoft Azure account. You are officially landed on Microsoft Azure page. I love the UI of Microsoft, and yeah, it is what it is. I love it. So you'll be wondering like, what are these? Oops. You'll be wondering like, what are these things? Like, what is this thing, what is this thing, what is this logo, what is that logo? Do not need to worry. I will just tell you each and everything in detail. First of all, just feel the vibe, just feel the UI of Microsoft. It's so good. So basically, let's talk about some basic stuff in Azure if you do not have any prior experience. So first of all, what we do the first thing. Okay, so these services, these are the resources. So let's talk about an important thing, which is Azure Resource Group. Let me just type it for you. It's called Resource Group. What's that? So it's basically a folder. As you can also see here, I can see the icon. If you can also see in your home page, it's fine. If you cannot, it's still fine, because these are like some of the recent services that I have used. That's it. So this is the resource group. What's that? Basically, whatever resource we create in Azure. Bro, hold on. Now, what is a resource? Just tell me that first. No, you need to first know what is a resource group. So if you create any resource, anything in Azure, you need a resource group. You need a folder. It is similar to the folder that you have in your PC. If you want to store some files, obviously you will store those files in a folder. Similarly, if we need to store those resources, we will just store those resources under resource group. Now, what is a resource? Basically, resource is a service that you create, that you use in Azure. Simple. If you are using Azure Data Factory, that is a resource. If you are using Azure Storage Account, that is a resource. If you are using Azure Synapse Analytics, that is a resource. So all these resources need to be stored under a folder, and that folder is called as resource group. Understood? I know. My data community is very smart. I know you understood this. Very good, very good. So now what are those two resources that we need? Any guesses? Obviously, one guess is obvious, very obvious. Azure Data Factory, right? Right. Azure Data Factory. What is the second resource? So, bro, second resource is Azure Data Lake. And I will just cover one important question as well in this area, because we do not have any Azure Data Lake in Azure. What? No, bro, you are kidding. No, like there's a tip. for you to follow if you want to create Azure Data Lake. So basically, we have something called Azure storage account in Azure. As you can see here, these are the storage accounts. So we have something called Azure storage account. And within that storage account, we get something called as blob storage. Let me just write it for you. We get something called as blob storage by default. But if we do not want to use blob storage and if we want to use Azure Data Lake, there's a configuration that we need to do. And once we do that, we get Data Lake. And obviously, you would know the difference between blob storage and data lake. If you do not know, there's a very small difference. So the thing is, when you use blob storage, you can only use containers. But when you use data lake, you can use hierarchical namespaces. You can use folders within folders, and you can store data in your folders. Small difference, do not need to worry. In layman language, you can just consider that as data lake. Do not need to worry. So these are the two resources that we need to create. So for that, we have just learned what we need. Correct. We need resource group. So first of all, let's create a resource group first. I will just go to this search button, or you can just click on this as well. So I will just go here and I will type resource group and I should see a pop-up. Yeah, this will save our time. So do not need to worry. These are like my resource groups that I have so far in my account. So do not need to worry. Simply click on plus create button. Simply click on create button. When you click on create button, it will just take you to this page. Now you need to just name your resource group. So now let's name our resource group. So I want to name my resource group as RG, and then let's say ADF course. That's it. This is my resource group. You can just name anything, trust me. Then you need to just pick the region. You can just pick the nearest region. So it's up to you, and you can just pick the region US as well. Do not need to worry. So next, tags. We do not need tags. Tags are very handy if we want to just categorize our resource usages and bills, and also it's out of scope right now, so just skip it. Click on next and then click on this create button. Simple. So it will just validate it, and validation is passed. Woohoo! Our resource group is created. Our resource group is created. So one way to do it is one way to just see your resource group. Just click on this home button, and then you can just click on resource groups, or you can just search here as well. See, and then you will see all the resource groups. In your case, it will be just one, so I can just find mine. It is here, so I will just open it. Okay, it's fine. It's empty right now. Obviously it is empty because we have not created any resource. So it's time to create the resource. So first of all, we will create our storage account, and I will just tell you something special in that as well. What is that? Let me just give you a hint. I will just talk about data redundancy in brief, and that is very important. That can be asked in your interview, so I do not want to skip this area. So simply click on this create button, and now it will just take us to the marketplace. What is that? So basically, this is the marketplace for all the resources, services, and even third-party applications are still there. So I will simply search storage account. Oops, storage account, and just make sure that you're using Microsoft one. So click on this and click on create button. Simple. So this is the configuration page that we need to carefully fill if we want to create Azure Data Lake instead of blob storage. So the first thing that you can see is resource group, right? And our resource group is already filled because we are creating a resource using our resource group. If you would not have created your resource group, you could have created by clicking on this create new button, but we have already created it. Now we need to give the storage account name. Just a tip, you cannot pick my storage account name. Why? Because we need to make sure that all the storage accounts are unique throughout the Azure network. So let's say I want to give storage account name as storage data factory. I don't think so it will be available. Yeah, because it is very common. So I will say uh, I will just put my name, Ansh, storage data factory Ansh. It should be available because we do not have many Ansh available on this planet. Okay, just kidding. So you can just put your name after this, like storage data factory, and you can just put any name, your name, your friend's name, your girlfriend name, boyfriend name, anything. You are free to do that. I won't tell your mom, don't worry. So the second thing is primary service. Primary service is like you can just pick Azure Data Lake Gen 2, it's fine. So here is the performance thing. I will just keep it standard. And if you want to just keep the premium, you can, but it's not required because we do not need like low latency and all like or fast reads. No, nothing. So here's the thing that I was just talking about, redundancy options. So we have like four redundancy options: LRS, ZRS, ZZ, Z zebra, ZRS, then GRS, G for gun, GRS, and then GZRS. Okay, let me just show you. Just let me just click on this drop down. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what are these? First of all, the cheapest one is LRS. Why? Because it is a locally redundant storage where your data will be duplicated within the same data center. Now, what is this? The second cheapest option is ZRS, zone redundant, in which your one data will be residing in one data center of zone and the second data will be residing in the data center of the second zone. Simple. Then comes the GRS, which is this one. GRS, where it is? Okay, it is here. GRS, this one. Oops, it is GRS. So basically, it is equivalent to two LRS options within the different regions, and then we have GZRS. It is the one LRS option and one ZRS option in two different regions. What I'm saying, do not need to worry. So basically, these are like more secure options than LRS and ZRS. But for this particular course, we will just pick LRS. This is the cheapest one. And if interview asks you that I just want to keep my cost low, just say, bro, just pick LRS. Don't say like this. Don't say like this. Don't say like this. That bro, just pick LRS. No. Just say, okay, if you want to keep your cost low, you can pick LRS. But if you want to keep your data in the most secure way, you can just put GZRS. Just talk like this, right? Do not talk like, bro, just pick LRS. He won't pick you. He or she won't pick you. Right? Then okay, I will just pick LRS. So let's click on the next button, which is the most important thing, and this will be asked in your interviews, trust me. So if you want to create your data lake instead of blob storage, you need to click on this button, this box. When you click on this box, what happens? It will create the folders. As you can see, as the name suggests, hierarchical namespaces, and I just talked about it, that in data lake we get hierarchical namespace or hierarchical folders. When you just click on this box, your data lake is created. Your data lake is created. Simple. And obviously, if you are showing that you are an experienced data engineer, you need to know these things. These are like very basic. Okay, so now just click on next, then 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 click on create. So in the childhood, I used to just install like softwares or games on my PC like this. Just click on next, 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 and install. Simple. So here we will just click on create. Like jokes apart, we do not need to take care of networking and data production and encryption right now, because this is just like basic project that we're creating. We are not securing our data right now. We are not using sensitive data. So that's why I just skipped it. So just click on create button and our storage account should be ready within just few minutes, or not minutes, man. It is like in few seconds. Let's see. It should be ready in few seconds. So basically our data lake is ready, because obviously if we want to do something with the Azure Data Factory, we need some data, and I will be covering real-time scenarios where I will be just creating scenarios, right? So we will see how we can do that. And I will be just trying to build, or let's say create more and more scenarios. So it will be lots of fun. Just trust me, just be with me with this video and you will learn a lot, a lot. So our resource is deployed. As you can see, if you want to check your resource, you can simply click on go to resource, or you can just go to home tab, click on resource groups, then just find your resource group, and you should see your resources created here. Wow, wow, it looks so good. Now the second thing is we need to create our Azure Data Factory. Let's do that. Just click on this create button. Okay, just click on this create button and just type data factory. Just click on this data factory. Yep, just click on this Microsoft one. As you can see, we have like other options as well. Like these are like third-party tools that we have. We can use them, but we love Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory is my first love. Trust me. Yeah, after college, but yeah, it's my first love. Like I just learned this tool. Like it was like my very first ETL or ELT tool or cloud ETL tool, because this is the first tool that I learned in the world of cloud data engineering, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I just fell in love with Azure Data Factory. So first thing that we need to do is like we need to name our Azure Data Factory. So I will just name it as ADF and then Ansh. Yeah, simple. Or let's say ADF course and then Ansh. ADF course and Ansh. Simple. And then you can just click on next and then next, then next, then next, then next, then click on create button. So now our Azure Data Factory is also created. See, it was so simple. It was so simple. Or am I making things simple to you? Same thing, bro. Same thing. Just enjoy your learning. So you can just simply click on go to resource. Let's click on this because in the previous resource we just followed the traditional approach. Just click on this and it will just take you to this page. And obviously you're very excited to hit that button, and I am double excited to hit that button. But I also want to show you how you can just navigate to this resource using traditional approach. Just go to home tab, click to resource groups, and then just find your resource group, and then you can see both the resources are ready for you. They are waiting for you for you to use them. So are you excited? Are you excited? Are you excited? Yep. But before launching the Azure Data Factory, I want to cover the fundamentals of it, which are required to use Azure Data Factory. You cannot use Azure Data Factory without that. What are these things? Let me just tell you. So what is this topic? Linked service and dataset. This is the, you can say, fundamental of fundamentals. Like this is the thing that you should be aware of. And this is the thing that is not just limited to Azure Data Factory. This is the thing that that is like more inclined towards the data engineering fundamentals. Like this is the basic thing that you should be aware of. And let me just share what is that, and you will just relate with like maybe some stuff that you are already aware of, and if you are not aware of, you will be aware of like very soon. So basically let's cover this first thing, which is link service. What is a link service? Basically I will just explain this thing with an example. So let's say let's take the same example. This is your source, this is your destination. Okay, this is your source. Okay, let me just type here as well. This is your source and this is your destination. Simple. Okay, so basically this is your Azure Data Factory. This is your Azure Data Factory in the middle. ADF. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now if you want to copy or migrate the data from your source to the destination, we said that Azure Data Factory has connectors, but what is a linked service and how it is linked to a connector? So let's say your source is, this is just an example. So let's say you just need to copy the data from a SQL database, right? So you need to build a connection. You need to build a connection with this ADF, with this SQL DB. You need to build something called as connection. See, this connection is called as link service. This was so simple. So basically, let me repeat. If you want to create the connection, if you want to just pull the data from any source, or let's say you need to just write this data to this destination, which is outside of ADF. Obviously, you cannot store the data in ADF. It is just a bridge acting between a source and destination. So if you want to connect to a source to a destination, no matter if it is an Azure resource or not, you need to have a connection. You need to have a connection so that you can just connect to that application, right? Make sense? This is called as linked service in Azure Data Factory. This was so simple. We just use a different name called linked service, but actually it is just a connection. Okay, this was very easy. Now, what is this data set? This is obviously very easy. So let's say this is your SQL database, right? This is your whole SQL database, but within this database, you have multiple tables, table 1, table 2, table 3, or let's say you have views, view 1, view 2, right? Let me just type it for you as well. this is T1, right? This is T2, this is T3, this is view 1, this is view 2. Simple. Now you have established the connection with your SQL database, but which table you need to pick? Make sense? Felt connected? So which table you need to pick? I want to pick table 3. Okay, I want to pick table 3. So this will be my data set. Table 3 will be my data set to identify the data, that which data needs to be migrated. Simple. And we use data set in destination as well. How? Let's say I want to convert this data into a data lake. This is my Azure data lake. I will create this folder. This folder is my data set. This file is my data set. This folder is my data set. So in, like, just summarize it, link service is a connection to any application, and data set is the actual data that we need to pick, that we need to fetch, that we need to store. Simple. So this was the fundamental thing that you should be aware of. Now you know this. Now we're gonna like conquer Azure Data Factory like this. Just trust me, because this was the thing that was required. Now you know this. Now you know the basics. So what we will be doing with Azure Data Factory, let me just tell you. Okay. So these are our resources, right? Yep, these are our resources. So first thing, we will simply go to our storage account. Why? I will tell you. Just open it, and here you can see the containers. These containers are your delta lake, oh sorry, data lake, not delta lake. No, just ignore that word. We'll tell you about that as well, don't worry. So this is data lake. I was just reading about delta lake, so it just came to my mind. Don't worry. So here we have containers. So we will create containers. Why? Because we just create containers in data lake. Yeah. So let's create our first container, and I want to call it as my source container. Simple. Oh, I just need to pick lowercase. Yep. This is my source container. Perfect. Good job. You have created your first container. Good job. Now I want to create my second container. This is my destination. Okay. This is my destination. So let's open this source container, which is obviously empty right now. So what we will be doing, we will upload one file here, and I will show you how you can migrate this data from this container to destination container. Yes, this will be this will be your first thing that you will learn to actually migrate the data. This is very fundamental thing, and once you know the basics of it, then we'll be covering some complex concepts, real-time scenarios as well. And now you will be just wondering, like, what's the use case of it? So let's say this source file is your source in which your manager, your stakeholders put the files. Make sense? Let's say your team lead, your manager, your senior things like senior developer puts files in this folder, and your destination folder is being used by, let's say, data scientists, or let's say BI developers. So you need to migrate this thing from source to destination. This is a very simple solution, but you grow eventually. So first you will build this simple pipeline where you will just move the data from one data lake to different data lake. Simple. From one container to different container. So this is your first task that you need to do as a data engineer. Are you excited? Are you excited? Let me show you how you can do that. And for those who already know these steps, this is a good thing to revise. And if you already know, it's good, but just wait, because we'll be covering some complex scenarios as well. So it's a good opportunity for you to just revise these concepts and just do it on your own, like these simple things, right? Okay. So in this source file, let's upload a data. It can be any data, and just click on it. Then you will see option called as upload. But will we be directly uploading the data in this? No. Why? Because we have created a data lake. We can create folders, which are also called as directory. See, so we can create folders within the container. So obviously we will leverage this. So I will just create the folder first. So I will say directory, and this will be my CSV files. Let's say these are like my CSV files. Let's create it. Click on save. See, now we can see the folder. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So now we will be just uploading the random data, and do not need to worry. I will just provide this data to my GitHub repository. You can just download that data from there, and you can just upload the data, the same data that I am uploading. So I will just simply click on it. I will just open the folder, and I will simply click on this upload button. So let me just click on this upload button, and then I will just select the file. So I have uploaded this file called factsales1.csv. This is just a random data that I have picked from my computer. So I will just upload the data. I have already mentioned it many times. So do not need to worry at all. So now our scenario is created. Now our scenario is created. Now it's time to just jump on the Azure Data Factory Studio, and let's finally see how Azure Data Factory looks like, because we haven't explored it yet. So simply go to your resource group by simply clicking on it, and just click on this resource and simply click on this launch studio. Simple. So it will just take you to the Azure Data Factory Studio. Wow, 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 wow. Simply just look at the UI and the web page. So if this is your first Azure Data Factory Studio or Workspace, you're gonna love it, because I love the UI. I love the UI. And obviously the functionality as well. It's not just about the UI, it's about the use case as well. So first of all, let me just give you an overview of it, like how things are like working here, or what features for like what thing, like all your WH family questions. I will just cover all the questions. So first of all, let me just click on this expand button so that you can just see the naming conventions as well. So first of all, this is your home tab. So obviously you have like multiple things: ingest, orchestrate, and then transform, and then configure SSIS. You do not need to worry about these things now, because we will be just covering all these areas in the coming sessions. Do not need to worry. So what is this author tab? So basically, author tab is your go-to tab. Why? Because 90% of the time you will be performing your tasks, because this is the tab where you actually create the pipelines, where you actually work with the activities, like different activities within a Azure Data Factory. So this is your go-to tab, and you will just learn a lot regarding this tab, because we will be just building real-time scenarios. So this will be full of fun. Do not need to worry about that for now. Next we have monitor tab. So once you create the pipelines, once you actually create the activities, then you need to monitor them. So let's say you have just scheduled your pipelines. You have created triggers. Wait. Will we be covering triggers as well in this masterclass? Yes. We will be covering triggers as well, like how you can schedule your pipeline. So you're building end-to-end pipeline which will be running on its own. So if you want to just monitor it, you can just go to this tab and you can actually do it. Then we have something called manage tab. Do you remember we just talked about link services and data sets? So actually you can create link service within this tab, because it manages all those resources. It manages GitHub, DevOps, Git configuration, everything. So these are like three major tabs that we use. So first of all, I will just click on manage tab. Why? Because before starting anything, we just need to establish a connection. As we just talked about it, right? We just need to establish a connection with the source, with the destination, and in our scenario it is data lake. So it is very simple. You can just simply click on this link service and click on this new button, and as you can see, like there are so many connectors available in Azure Data Factory. You can just connect to all these applications seamlessly without any hustle. So it's very easy. There are like countless like connectors available, so do not need to worry. In our scenario it is data lake, so I will simply search Azure Data Lake, and I will pick Azure Data Lake Gen 2. Click on continue, and then I just need to name this link service slash connection. So what name I just want to pick, so I can just pick like linked service data lake, DL. So DL is for data lake. Simple. Then I just need to pick my subscription, which is my Azure subscription. Then I will just pick my storage account. In my scenario it is storage data factory Ansh. In your scenario it can be something different. Then before clicking on this create button, you just need to click on test connection, so that we can just actually test this connection if it is working fine or not. And I'm sure it will work fine. Yeah, see, it is successful. Now we can just click on this create button. Simple. So now as you can see, our link service or connection is created with what? With this data factory. With this data factory and between this storage account. So now this data factory is connected with this storage account using that link service. See, this was all about link service. Now it's time to cover all the activities, all the real-time scenarios, all the interview questions that will be asked by you if you are just trying to crack the roles, or if you are already an Azure data engineer, you are just advancing your skills. Yes, it is the time to actually do that. So what is the first activity that we'll be learning here? So let me just give you a hint. We will not just covering the activities. No, I will just design the scenarios in such a way that you need to connect those activities. Because obviously in the real world, you do not perform activities independently. No, we connect our activities according to the requirements and then we build one complete pipeline. So I decided that I will just create scenarios where you can just combine the activities, and then by this way you will obviously learn about the activities plus you will learn about the scenarios. So yeah, I know, like I need to just put more efforts to just explain all these stuff, but I'm ready to do that because I know you, my data fam, is really interested to learn all these things. So I'm just ready to put my efforts, and yes, let's cover all these areas seamlessly and you will learn everything from scratch. And if you are already familiar with Data Factory, it will be a good knowledge test for you because we'll be covering like real-time examples, real-time scenarios. So are you excited to cover first activity? And what's that? Let me just tell you. It's none other than copy activity. What is this copy activity? So basically, you cannot imagine your Azure Data Factory pipelines without this activity. Why? Because in 99.99% of the solutions, we are migrating data from one place to another. In 99.99. So this is the activity that is used to migrate your data. Yes, as the name suggests, copy data. It copies the data from one place to another. Simple. Let me just give you the architecture, like how it works. So basically, let's say this is your source, right? And this is your sink, or let's say destination. So in Azure Data Factory, we just use sink instead of destination. But if you see sink, if you hear me saying sink, it means destination. So it needs two things. What are those two things? First of all, obviously connection. This is a source, as we already discussed, that it needs connection. So it is your connection. Okay. With this, that is the first thing. What is the second thing that it needs? This is your first thing. Second thing is obviously dataset. Okay. Once it has all the things like these two things, then it can travel your data from your source to your destination. Simple, simple. So are you excited to actually implement the solution? And we already know the scenario, but now we'll be using copy activity. And after performing this scenario, which is just migrating data from source container to destination container, I will add some more twist and I will just leveling up the game by introducing more and more like complex solutions and let's say scenarios. So get ready with that and let's be focused and just be more focused towards this area because this is the fundamental. Once your fundamental is clear, then you will be just able to perform all the further activities or let's say further scenarios. So just be focused with this part. Yeah, let's do that. So I will simply go to my Azure portal and then I will simply go to this author tab. Finally, it's time to create the pipeline. Click on this author tab. Then this is your author tab. Let me just collapse it to have some more space. This is your author tab. So as you can see, we have resources called pipelines, CDC, that is change data capture, datasets, data flows, Power Query. So obviously we are aware of pipelines. We know like pipelines are a set of activities that you perform and orchestrate. What is this change data capture? So change data capture is a kind of incremental loading pipeline where changes are automatically captured in the destination. It is under preview right now, and it is in preview, I think, since last year. So no comments, no comments. So datasets, as we all know, like datasets are the real data within the link service. Then data flows. Data flows, we know that it is used to transform the data using Spark without using Spark, because we will not be writing code. Azure Data Factory will be writing code for us. Then we have something called as Power Query. What is that? If you are familiar with Power BI, this is the same thing that you call there as Power Query Editor. Yes, you can transform your data using Power Query Editor. Just imagine the power. Just imagine the ease of using it. Yeah, it is very easy and it is very helpful. We'll discuss it, don't worry. So first of all, let's create a pipeline. Simply click on it and you will see nothing, because obviously we do not have anything. Just click on these three dots, click on new pipeline. Okay, then this canvas will be popped up from left and right. So first of all, this is simple. And towards your right, you just need to name your pipeline, and I will name it as, let's say, pipeline. What name should I give? Pipeline, let's say, manager. Yeah, it makes sense. And if you just need to collapse it, you can just simply click on this properties tab once again to have some more space, right? Because you as a data engineer need some more space. Then we just need to find the activity, and Ansh, just tell us about this area as well, because this was also just popped up. So this is nothing but like set of activities, and all the activities are grouped, are categorized. Let's say if you want to perform any activities related to move and transform, then this area you can explore. If you want to perform some, let's say, related to snaps, let's say Spark notebooks and job configuration, then click on this. You will see like Spark notebooks and Spark job definitions. Then let's say if you want to perform something related to Databricks, you can just click on it. You will see notebooks, jars and all. See, if you just click on, let's say, iteration and conditionals, it will just show you the for loop, if conditions, everything. So basically Azure Data Factory has combined these set of activities into categories, which are very handy. But do you know the simplest way? Because when you are new, obviously you need to just let's say go through all these areas. But once you know that this activity is called as this, let's say I already know that if I want to move my stuff, it's copy activity. I will simply go here, bro. Let me just collapse it. I will simply go here and I will simply say copy. Simple. I do not need to just find my activity within these folders. No, 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 no. So simply copy activity, just drag it to the canvas. This is your copy activity. Okay, but what is this? What is this? Obviously, as we just discussed, that copy activity needs two things. What's that? Link service, dataset for source. Link service, dataset for destination. And I also told you that in Azure Data Factory, we used sync instead of destination. So it is nothing but just destination. So we can also name this activity. So I will name it as, what name should I give? I will name it as, let's say, copy CSV files. Copy CSV. Simple, right? Do not give space because it will throw an error. So just copy CSV. Simple, simple, short and simple. Okay. Then let's see like what things do we have here. So this is a description that you can give within your Azure Data Factory activity. Then active state. If you click on deactivate, it will be deactivated. But why do you want to deactivate it, bro? Come on, man. Serious, serious. So this is the timeout. Then it will be timed out after this, like after 12 hours. Then retry. If it fails, do you want it to retry? By default, it is 0. If you give 1, so if it like fails, then it will just retry for one time. It will, if you say 2, it will try 2 times. Then, hey, we do not want to retry. Get lost. Then retry interval. Obviously, if you want to retry your pipeline, you need some gap between second run, right? So you can just decide like by default it is 30 seconds. Simple. Then simply select this area, source. Now copy data activity is asking you to provide source. It is saying, hey, provide me the source. Let me just provide the source. So simple, we do not have any data set. We do not have any data set. We have not created any data set. Did we create? No. We have just created the link service. So now we will create the data set. Simply click on this new button. And then it is asking what type of like data is stored in which application. It is data lake. data lake. Okay, click on it, continue. It will say what is the format of the data. In our scenario, it is CSV file. So just click on it and click on continue. Then it is saying what name you want to give to your data set. I will say CSV source because it is my source data set, right? Then it is saying, do you have link service? Bro, yes, we do have. We have already created this linked service. If you do not have, you can simply click on this new button. Not a big thing. So I will just pick this link service. Then important step, as I just told you, that linked service is a connection with an application, but dataset is the actual data within that application. So now Azure Data Factory is asking you, hey bro, you have provided me the connection with this storage account. Okay, I have successfully connected with it, but with which folder, with which file do I need to connect? So I will say, hey, just click on this browse button and you will see all the containers that you have. We have like source container, click on it, and then we have one folder inside it, I guess. Let's see, it's loading. Yeah, so now we have one folder, CSV file, select it. Then we have one file as well, select this as well. Okay, click on OK. So now we know this is our dataset, source dataset. Yes. Now, do you want to keep first row as header? Obviously, because in CS we need to specify that this row, first row is header. So we'll simply select it. Then import schema. No, we do not want to import schema. Simple. Then we will simply say OK. Now our source is done. If you want to preview data, you can simply click on this goggles and you should see the preview of your data. So this is your data. So you guys that we are using. Okay. So now we need to click on sync, which is destination. It is saying, hey, do you have the data set for sync? We will say no, but we will create it. Do not select the source data set because that location is different. Sync location is different because it will be stored in the destination container. So we need to create data set for that as well. Click on plus new. Again, data set is stored in data lake gen 2. Do not pick this one, Azure blob storage, because we are using data lake. Click on continue. In what format do you want to store? Obviously CSV, because it is in CSV, so we will store in the CSV. But you can just pick Avro, Bucket, ORC. Click on continue. Then this will be my destination. So I will say sync CSV. Yeah, that was source CSV. This is sync CSV. Link service will be same because same application is being used. Yes, data lake is same in both the scenarios. Just remind this. Now we need to pick the location, destination, and within this destination we have nothing, so we'll say okay, but I want to create the directory. This is also an interview question. If you do not have any directory but still you want to create it, you can just mention anything here. It will create the directory for you. If I just write, let's say, CSV files, it will create folder automatically. I will show you in the storage account as well. Right now we do not have anything in destination, we just have in source, but it will create one folder in destination as well. Let me just drink some water. I'm thirsty. So now it is asking us to provide the file name as well. So if you want to provide the file name, you can just provide the file name. If you do not provide any file name, it will just randomly pick any file name. So I will provide the file name, let's say, or I don't want to provide the file name because it will automatically pick the file name for me. So here the none, then click on OK. This is done. This is done. So I will just simply click on the white canvas, like the blank area. Now, if I just run on debug, it will migrate my data from source to destination and it will create the folder as well. Let me just click on debug. Here you can see the output of it. So it is running right now. So that's why activity status is queued. So you can refresh it from here. So it is now running. So once it is successful, you will see green mark. If it fails, you will see red mark. I love both the marks because with green you feel happy, with red you learn. That was a deep line, man. If it is green, you feel happy. Yeah, that we all know. But if you see red, that means if you fail, you learn. That was a very deep line. It succeeded because I'm here to teach you. So you're learning from me and you should feel happy from your pipelines. Perfect combination. So it is successful. It is successful. Do you want to see the result? Yes. I want to see the result. If you do not want to see the result. So I will simply go to my storage account by simply clicking on this. So now I will open my storage account, right? Let me just open my storage account, click on containers, and now I will see my destination because my destination was empty. My destination was empty. Destination folder. Okay. So destination, I will click on destination. So now, wow, I can see that new folder is created. I will simply click on it. Wow, this file is here. Trust me, I didn't manually copy it. My Azure Data Factory copied it for me. This is your first data pipeline that you have created in Azure Data Factory. Trust me, like I was so happy when I created my first pipeline. I don't know about you, but I was so happy. So this is your first pipeline and you have migrated the data from source and from source to destination. So what does it mean? Like, did it just remove the data from source? No, because it is a copy activity. So if I just go to my source, let's say I go to my source, I will still see the file. See, it is here. We are just copying the data from source to destination. Happy? You have learned your like first activity, like first copy activity. But this was just the fundamental. Now we're gonna level up our game. Now we're gonna learn like real time scenarios, and we will be just leveling up with the activities that I'll be adding like one after another. But I want to just cover one more you can say uh, use case using copy activity. So in this scenario, we just, let me just show the containers. We just move the data from source to the destination, right? Like it was between data lake to data lake. Now, what if you want to pull the data from API, or let's say from any HTTP connection to data lake? Let's say I will open my GitHub account right now, okay? And I will show you one file there. So instead of manually uploading the data in this data lake, I directly want to pull the data from API. Can you do that? Yes. How? Because we have a connector with API. We have HTTP connection as well in Azure Data Factory. Excited to learn that? Let me show you exactly what we're gonna do right now. So now, this time we have a special requirement to perform copy activity. What we'll be doing inside this? So let's say we have a CSV file in my GitHub repository. I want to directly copy the data from the GitHub repository to my destination folder in the data lake. Can you do that? Yes, it is very easy. And let me explain you like how we can just do it, because once I explain this, it will be very easy, trust me. So we have like something called HTTP connection that we'll be using to pull data directly from this. And obviously for that we need to create a link service. We need to first create the connection with the GitHub, then we will create the data set with the data within the GitHub. And we already have link set, link service, not link set. I just mixed like link service and data set. Link set, no, we already have link service for our GitHub, like for our data lake. And then we will be just creating a data set for our data lake. Simple, sounds interesting, really, bro, because you are just fetching data directly from the GitHub, which is outside of the Azure network. So it is very easy. Let me just show you how you can do it. So let me first show you this thing, which is my repository. So I'm not promoting my repository, I'm just showing you because I have a file here. Azure Data Factory. When you go inside this, you will see raw data, and then you have a file here. Yes, so this time we will be using data directly from here. Fact sales to .csv directly from here. Yes. So let me just go here and let me just tell you how you can do it. Okay, let me just cross all the other tabs. Then, so we will be creating a new activity, and for that we can just perform same activity within the same pipeline, and the you can say new activity in the new pipeline. But I will just prefer to perform this activity in a new pipeline, so I will just create a new pipeline and I will name it as pipeline get, because we are just downloading data directly from the get and we are just moving the data to our data lake. So once I name it, I will simply repeat the steps. So it's a quick revision for you all because you already know how to create link service. So let's create our own link service, and you will create your own link service without copying from this video. And if you face any errors, then definitely you can refer. So this is my copy activity. I will say copy git, simple. And then in my source, I do not have any data set. Obviously, I will click on create new. Okay. This time, this time, where is our data? Our data is in the HTTP connection. So I will simply write HTTP, click on it, and click on continue. Basically, we have two options, HTTP and REST API, but it is the recommended approach by Microsoft to use HTTP if we have a file in our GitHub or in our website. But if we just have like API call, then we just use REST API. Don't need to worry. So both are same, but this is a recommended approach. Click on continue, and then in what format we have data in uh, that HTTP connection, CSV. Click on continue. Then what name you want to give? I will name it as source git. Simple. Do we have link service? This time, no. No, this time we do not have link service. So we will click on this and we will click on create new. So here we need to just name the link service. Okay. So I will say linked git. Simple. Then you need to provide the base URL from where we can get the base URL. From where it is available in GitHub. And how you can find that URL, let me just show you. So you simply need to just go to my GitHub repository, and from there we will just get the URL. So how you can just get the URL? Simply click on my repository and then obviously pick the repository. Then simply click on raw data, and this is our file. Simply click on it. You will see this page where we have data embedded like this. Simply click on this raw button, this one, this one. Click on this, and this will give you the web page. We need this URL, and if you want to get the URL, simply click on this tab two times and you will see the URL. But this is the complete URL. But for link service, we just need the URL to establish the connection with GitHub. In this scenario, it is this one. It is only till .com, because this is the relative URL. This is not the base URL. Base URL itself is just till .com. That's it. So when we'll be using rest of the URL, we'll tell you, bro. Wait. We'll tell you, because this is the URL we use it for dataset. Because once we have established the connection with GitHub, then we will say, hey, pick this file. But for now, we will just use this thing, this https till .com. So I will simply copy this part of URL and will paste it in base URL. Simple. And I can just remove this backslash. Yeah. So what is the authentication type? Anonymous. And everything looks good to me. So I will just test the connection. Simply click on this. Yeah, it is successful. Simply click on create. So our link service is created. Now I told you, now it is asking for relative URL. Now it is asking for relative URL. It is saying, hey, I want relative URL. I want relative URL. It is saying. So now you can just copy the rest of the thing like this after the backslash. Now I will just put it here in relative URL and then simply click on OK. This is our source and you can just preview the data. Click on preview data, and this is the data that we should expect. And sync is same. Sync dataset is already not created. Smart. Yes, only link service is created. So we'll click on plus new, and then we will just pick the data lake, then CSV, and this will be my sync. So I will say sync get CSV. Simple. And link service we already have. Link service data lake. Simple. And it is asking me to like from where, like to which location we need to copy the data. So I will just browse it. I will select destination and I will select CSV files. But that's it. I will not pick the file because new file will be coming here using file name. And this time I can just say the file name this time, like file. Okay, let's just leave it. We will just use the name that will be coming from the GitHub, because it is the recommended approach, because we should not manually type anything. No, it will be just picking everything. So connection schema, no, simply click on OK. Done. Everything is done. Now, when I just click on this debug mode, when I just click on this debug, or let's say when I just run this, it should copy this, which is also known as fact sales 2, from this GitHub, from this GitHub. Yes, from this GitHub. It should just get the data from here. So let me just click on debug, and let me just wait to come, like to see the results. Let's see. I should see green. Let's hope for green. Let's see what color we see. So it is like one of the real time scenarios that you actually perform in the real world. You do not um, actually download the data from GitHub directly. Whenever you see the data in GitHub, you actually import that data using Data Factory. Okay, I see it has succeeded, but I want to validate it. I will simply go to my data lake, to destination, and I should see now two files. Let me just click on it. Yes, I have two files, but we have a folder. Yes, because it just used the directory from my GitHub. So when I just open this, I should see the files. Like it, I have used like multiple folders. I know. See, now we have files. So we have like this hierarchy because we did not use the file name. If we use the file name, then it would not have given us this thing. Let me show you that as well. Let me show you that as well. If I just delete this folder, okay, simply click on delete. And if I just go to my Azure Data Factory, if I just select my data activity, if now I want to just make the changes in my data set, that's why I did not do it during that time. So I will simply click on this and click on open. Now we can just edit our data set. So if you do not want to just get all the column names, or sorry, not the column name, like all the folders name, you can just specify the file name. Then it will use that file name. But earlier what it was doing, it was just using all these folder names. And obviously when you put slash, it treats this as a folder. Simple, common sense, common sense. So now we can just simply say file2.csv. Simple. Now, if you just want to perform the data, like perform the activity, you can just go there and you can just run the pipeline. Then you should see file2.csv, and you can just use any name. Any name means any name. Literally, you can just use any name. Just refresh it. Yeah, it succeeded. Let's see the result. Let me just refresh it. Yeah, see, this time I got file2.csv. If I would have named it as, let's say, git file or git csv file, I should see the same name. And now you can just see that this file is copied. So you have successfully learned how you can just pull data directly from the API to your data lake. It was very, very, very helpful. Trust me. If you have grabbed all the concept, it's good. If not, just rewatch this part, because now we're gonna level up. Yeah, bro, because with each activity, with new activity, with every new activity, we'll be just leveling up our game. So now how we can just level up our game, like what we are just doing right now, like what thing we are doing right now. So okay, let me tell you the scenario. As you can see here, that we have fact underscore sales underscore one dot csv, that is our file number one. Then we have file 2 dot csv, and this is just random file. This is not fact file. Just imagine, because this is fact sales, right? This is not fact sales. This is just a random file that we are pulling into the destination folder. So now the requirement is, and this is the real time scenario, and I don't care if, like, obviously like this question will be asked in your interviews, but I don't care about that, because this is the scenario that you will be just dealing with your day-to-day activities. Even if you are not asked this question in your interviews, but I am so sure that you will be definitely asked. But still, I am just putting day-to-day activities above than the interviews, because this kind of activities you'll be performing in your day-to-day activities, in your day-to-day tasks. So what is this thing, like why I'm just putting so much focus on this part? Because let's say you have just moved all the files into your destination folder. Correct. Now just listen carefully, this file this file is used by the reporting team, okay. Let me just write it for you. This file is used by your reporting team, okay. This file is used by the data scientist team, okay. Data scientist team. Data, oops, data science team. This file is used by reporting team. This file is used by the data science team. But for now, but for now, we have requirement number one. We have requirement that we want to create a new container called reporting, which will be used by BI developers, Power BI developers, data analysts. They want to do reporting on top of the data because obviously BI developers use facts and dimensions, basically data warehouse, to build the reports, right? So they want to just use fact file. They do not want to use file.csv file. But in your container, in your folder, one folder, you have multiple files. In your one folder, you have multiple files. But reporting team just wants to see this data. It's not about they want to see. They just need to see this data. So according to the data governance, data security, we cannot show this file to them, file2.csv. That means we need to build a solution in which one folder having two files, but only one type of file will be going to the new container. Let me just draw it for you. Only fact file, here it is like fact sales 1, in other run it can be fact sales 2, in third it can be fact sales 3. It is related to fact, and it is like suggested by the name as well, like it needs to go to the reporting team, right? So we will create a container where only fact data will go, not the file.csv, because this data cannot be seen by data analyst. No, because of data quality, data governance, right? And this is the real time scenario that you will be asked in the interviews, trust me. So now to achieve this, we have a new activity in Azure Data Factory, and it's none other than get metadata. Get metadata activity. Yes. So what this activity will do, what this activity will do, so we have two files within one folder. It will just give us the metadata of the whole folder. Metadata is data about data. That means data about folder. So this is metadata of the folder. So it will give us all the file names. 1, 2. It will give us all the file names. Okay. So now we will apply some logic that we will first see the metadata, right? We will see all the files, and how we can see this, using this get metadata activity. Then we will apply another activity that I will just tell you after showing this activity. So we will apply some logic, some condition, in which we will say, hey, just take this data only, just take fact sales data only. And the second activity I will talk about in just few minutes. But now let's see how you can efficiently use get metadata activity. Let me just show you how you can use it. It's very easy, but it's very powerful. So simply go to Azure. So this is our Azure portal, and just a quick tip. Obviously you will be watching this video in parts, so whenever you want to just save your work, just click on this publish all button. I can just also click on this, because it will just save your all the progress so far. So it will just save you from a surprise of seeing no work. If you have just developed everything, just click on publish all. So now, as we have discussed, we will use an activity called get metadata. So let me create a new pipeline here. So I will name it as only selected files. Yeah. And just a hint, we will be using two different activities, but first I need to just tell you the first activity, obviously, because you want to learn like one by one, right, in pieces and steps. So this activity is called get metadata. So I can simply search get metadata, and I can see get metadata is here. Wow. So I will just remove one. I will simply say get metadata. Okay. So now it's very simple. Just click on settings button, and then it will ask to provide the data set. Yes, we need to provide the data set. So we will just create a new data set for that data, for just like destination folder, in which we will not give the file name. Why? Because we want to pull all the files. If we just provide the data set in which we have provided the file name as well, it will just give us the metadata of that particular file. But what we want, We want metadata of folder. So we will create a new data set. Click on plus new. Obviously data is in data lake. Bro, trust me, these scenarios are really handy in your day-to-day activities. Plus, these will be asked in your interviews. Trust me, you cannot expect like your interviews without these kinds of scenarios, without these kinds of activities. And with more and more activities, we are leveling up our game. I will also introduce two triggers like a tumbling window trigger, schedule triggers, storage based triggers. Don't worry, just be with me because you'll be learning a lot. Just be with me. So data is in CSV format, obviously. Click on continue. Okay, and I will just name it as, let's say, metadata, metadata ds. Okay, linked service, obviously it is the same. Now we just need to pick destination container and CSV files. That's it. Do not select any particular file. No, we want all the files. So just select the folder. Click OK. Perfect. And import schema, no. Click on OK. Click on OK. Now I will just run this pipeline. Okay. Oh, okay. My bad. So the thing is, we have selected get metadata. So now what type of metadata we want? What type of metadata? So for that, simply click on field list plus new, then click on argument. You will see all the options available. Let me just expand it. You will see all the options. Child items. Child items means items that are available within this folder, and that's what we want. Simply select it. Then we have something called exists. If any particular file exists or not. So this is used for that particular purpose. Then we have item name, item type, last modified date. If you want to just find the last modified date of a folder, you can just use it. If you want to find the last modified date of a file, still you can use it. Then for now we will just simply select child items because we want to see all the files within this folder. Now I can just run it. Simply click on debug. Then it should just give us the array of files. Let's see. Okay, it is succeeded. Now I will just see the output of it. And how you can see it, simply put your mouse here and simply click on this exit button, which is also called as output. Click on it and you will see this array. Let me expand it. What is this? This is the thing that we want. Yes. So if you just closely observe, we have child items and we have two child items. One is this one. Let me just zoom it. See, one is this one and second one is this one. One file is fact file CSV, second file is file2.csv. It has given us the metadata of that folder. It has told us that these two files are there and we can use those files. That's what I want. That's what I want. Because let's suppose you have hundreds of files. How you can just get the metadata of all the files using this get metadata activity, because it will give you the all the items. Now once we have this get metadata it's a tongue twister. So once we have get metadata activity in place, now we will use a new activity. And what is that activity? It's none other. It's very popular in programming languages. If you are from programming background, it's called if condition. Yes, it's very popular, right? If condition. So what I will take both the items, right? And I will say if name of any item. In this case, we have just two items. Let's say if we have hundreds of items, I will only, listen to me carefully, I will only copy the data for that file starting with fact. Let me repeat. So I will only and only copy the data which is starting with fact, not with any other name. If any file is starting with fact, I want to see only that file. And if any file is starting with any other name, I do not want to use that file. That's my condition. Are you excited? Yes, let me just show you. So for that, We can simply create a new container here. So I will create a container called reporting, and I will click on create button. Simple. So in this reporting container, we will only transfer the files starting with fact. And we want to see that activity, how it looks like. Let me show you. So this is your activity if condition. If. I told you that we're gonna level up. We're gonna level up with the course of time. So now it's time to level up. So what exactly we need to do? Let me just tell you. So first of all, obviously we will just get the metadata. We will get the list of files, right? Not just the list of files, array of files. Why? Because we have their different entities like file name, file type. We will use file name, don't worry. Then we want to use an activity which will apply a condition. What was the condition? Just tell me. Just tell me. Okay. Why I'm so charged up? Because I just had a cup of coffee, so I'm all boosted up. Yeah, I was like a little bit tired because I was just continuously speaking. But now I'm all like boosted up. I'm charged up. Just kidding, man. I'm just like this. So the thing is, the condition that we want to apply is we want our file name similar to, or let's say like, if you are from SQL background, or let's say starts with fact. Oops. So this is our condition. If this condition gets fulfilled, then just transfer this data to the reporting folder. Simple. Yeah, it is simple. But here is a surprise for you. What's the surprise? Let me show you, bro. So there's a common sense. What's the common sense? I know like common sense is not so common nowadays, but still it's a common sense. And my data community has like a great IQ. So I know like they have lots of common sense. So the thing is, we have the array. Let's say file 1, right? File 2. Oh man, my handwriting. Then file 3. My mom used to scold me a lot about my handwriting. My school teacher used to scold me a lot. I can't help. Like, I have a beautiful handwriting. I don't know why they don't like it. Do you like it? So, file 1, file 2, file 3. These are like different entities within the list, right? If we want to apply the if condition, we want to apply that condition to individual file. So we want to run a loop, a for loop over these files, right? And here is the new activity for you. Here is the surprise for you. So now we will be using for each activity on top of this if condition. Why? So I know you are already smart, but still I want to tell you why. So this for each activity will run a loop on these files, like file 1, file 2. I think my mom and my teachers like are right about my handwriting. Now I can also say that. Okay, so let's say we are running a for loop on this particular list. So first of all, it will just bring this only this file 1. It will send this file inside this activity, which is if condition, right? It will check if the file name of this file is satisfying the condition. If yes, then we will apply a copy activity. If this file is not satisfying the condition, it will not perform the copy activity. Simple. Yeah, it is simple. Not so simple, but after few minutes it will be very simple. Ansh, calm down. I know you're excited, but calm down. Okay. So after few minutes, you will be familiar, you will know each and everything that we are talking about right now regarding this solution, because we want to develop an end-to-end solution, not just the basic common, you can say very normal stuff. No, we want to just build complex solutions so that you can build like complex skills as well. You can just conquer the interviews like this. Okay, so we have understood the architecture, not fully, because obviously we have not performed it yet, we have not implemented it yet. So jokes apart, now jokes, not jocks. Jokes apart, now it's time to just implement this solution. So I will just tell you each and everything. So let's be focused now. So this is our Azure portal, and now it's time to just drag the for each activity. Okay, for each, yes, just drag it here. Simple. So I will just name it as for each CSV. Simple. So here's one important thing. So we have like 4 types of nodes, 4 types of connections. What's that? This is on skip, this is on success, this is on failure, this is on completion. So it depends like how you want to succeed, how you want to just perform the further activity based on your previous one. If you want to say if this particular get metadata activity fails, and then you want to run your for each CSV file or for each CSV activity, then you can just connect these activity based on this node. So similarly, for this scenario, we are just connecting it on success. Once it succeeds, then we can just perform our for each activity. Now, if you are from Python background, no, we are not from Python background. Okay, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. If you are not even from any programming background, still for each is a kind of loop that we run, and this loop is used to just iterate through every single entity. So, moral of the story is we need a loop. We need a loop to iterate through the array. So, where is the array? Because we have the for loop, where is the array? Where is the array? Tell me. So, bro, the array is here. If you just see the output of this file, that's why I ran this output for you guys so that you can use it, because we'll be using that array right now. Don't worry. So, the array is here. So, we will be using output. We will be using, bro, just be focused now. You will be using output of this activity, and output of this activity is in the form of array. Yes, you can do this. If you go here and check the output, you will see the array is called as child items. Array is, oh bro, calm down bro. Yeah. So, oh, let me just expand it. It is very sensitive, very sensitive. So the array is child item. As you can see, let me just zoom it for you. See, this is an array. Child items is our array. So we will be using this array because the first thing that it will iterate is this one. The second thing is this one. Simple, simple. So we will be using this child items as our array. And what is the file name? What is the file name? Just tell me. If you are from programming background, bro, we just told you we are not from programming background. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. If you are not from programming background, still I will just tell you how you can just do that. So this is a kind of array. In array we have something called indexing. So we do not need to worry about the indexing because for loop will run all the indexes on its own. But what we need to care? We need to care that this child items array, we just need only one key. What is the key name? That is name. This is name. So every time we need to perform, or let's say we want to perform if condition or any kind of thing, we will say child items, which is our array, dot name. Traditionally, if we do not have for loop, let's say we do not have for loop, how this will be executed? This will be executed as like this: child items, because I want to provide you the core knowledge. I'm not just teaching you a tool, I am teaching you a skill, and I want you to master that. So this is child items. Child items is an array, and the first element of the array starts with index 0. So this will be my index 0 dot. Then once it reaches this index, it has two things: name and type. What we want now? We want, oh bro, what you have done? So sorry, my bad. So yeah, so what we need child items, obviously of index 0. Now what is the thing? We just need name. Of that particular index, because our element is in the form of dictionary, in the form of key value pairs. We just need one key, which is dot name. This is the thing. Now The second thing, like the second iteration will be here 1, 0, 1. The next one we do not have in this scenario, but if you have like multiple files, 2, 3, 4. Do we need to manually put this number? The answer is no. Why? Because we are running a loop. It is automatically iterating through these values. So the only thing that we need to put is this. Let me just write it for you. Just write it. Child items. Okay. Child items dot name. Simple. Simple. We will write just this thing inside our if condition. So this was the scenario. This was the exact core skill, core knowledge. Right? Let's perform this. This was important. So now in for each, we have already know that we will go to settings and we will provide sequential. Do you want to provide, like, do you want to perform the stuff or the activities within for each in sequence? I personally like to perform all those in sequence. So I will just say sequential, yes. And what are the items? We just discussed that we will be using output of this activity. And for that, you just need to click on add dynamic content. And then you just need to scroll down and you will see the output of get metadata activity. See, output. Now, this is the whole output. This is the whole output. What you are saying, bro? Let me show you. If I just go to output of this activity, this is the whole output. Do you want to use all the things? No. Then you just need to use child items, right? So we will just write output dot child items. Simple. Simple. Just click on OK. Now, this for loop will have all the child items. Now we will go inside this for loop. How we can just do that? Simply go to activities and click on this pencil button. So this is the empty canvas, but actually if you will observe, we are inside this for each CSV, right? Now I will drag my if condition, if condition, if condition, and I will say, I will name it as if file matches, if file matches. Okay. Now, what is my condition? What is my condition? I will again use add dynamic content because we are using the output of for each. We just discussed that we will be using every single element of that array. And what is that element? Dot name. Dot name. My data community is smart. My data community is very, very smart. So we'll simply click on add dynamic content, click on it. Then we will use output of for each CSV. How we can use? There's a function called item. If you do not, oh, not item, it's item. Yeah. So there is a function called item. If you do not remember this function, just forget it. Just forget it. Simply click on this for each CSV. It will show item. But as we just discussed, in each item we have two things, name and type. What do we want? Name. We will simply write name. And this item is equivalent to, let me just tell you again, bro, because I want you to learn. This item is equivalent to this thing. Child items of 0th index dot name. This is equivalent to this, right? That's my bro. That's my bro. That's my bro. So now we will simply click on OK button. This is done. This is done. Is this done? Not really, because we want to use this expression in the if condition. So I will just again click on this box. Now I know that my name has like, I have like two names. One is fact sale something, second is file2.csv something, but I know my condition. I want my condition is if my file name, this is my file name, if this thing starts with fact, then return true, otherwise return false, because if condition has two things, true or false, simple, right? How we can do that? We have a function called starts with. So we will simply write, if you do not know, again, because if you are new, obviously you would not remember these functions. You can simply go here, like and three dots, functions. Then you will have all the functions. You can just search that function here. I will just say starts with. Oops, starts with. See, even if you do not remember this function, you can simply go to the string functions, because obviously it is related to string. We are just comparing the string. then you will see all the string functions available. Concat, ends with, GUID, index of, last index of, replace, split, starts with, substring, to lower, to upper. So basically these are string functions we want to use starts with. So basically it has, let me first remove this function like item. We will just use it inside it. So first of all, we want to focus on this one, starts with. So starts with has like two things, like what we need to use in starts with in and in what variable. Let's say our item dot name starts with fact. So first of all, we want to confirm like what is the case of that fact. Let's say is it uppercase or lowercase, something like that. So you just need to go to destination and confirm the okay, it is in the normal case, like first alphabet is capital and rest of the stuff is like in the lower case. So we will use this exact word. So starts with, let me just show you again how you can just do this. Simply click on the starts with function. Simple. Now it says function starts with does not accept zero arguments. So bro, we are providing you the arguments. Just hold on. So how you can do it? Starts with. So basically, so here I will first of all write the output of that for each activity. So we can simply go to for each iterator, click on this, and now it has returned item. Simple, item. Now we want to add dot name, as we just discussed that why we are using this dot name. Okay, add comma. Now what is our starts with string? We just checked, it is fact. Simple, just click OK. Now what it will do, if this condition is satisfied, if this condition is true, then we want to perform copy activity. If this condition is false, we do not want to do anything because we just want to copy the data to the reporting container if this condition is successful. Understood till here? Yes or no? If your answer is yeah, still it is fine. Why? Because you are learning complex solutions. It is normal if you are not grasping 100% of it in one go. Trust me. Because when I was learning these things back in the days, I was also referring these solutions again and again. I was just trying to build these solutions on my own again and again. And yes, it is very normal if you are watching this part again and again, it's fine. You can re-watch this part and you can just enhance your knowledge. It doesn't mean that you are not smart enough to learn the things in one go. No, because you are learning skills deeply. You are not just covering the areas that you will be forgetting after a few days. No, you are learning the skills deeply, so it's fine, right? If you learned everything in one go, it's fine. If you are not, still it's fine, because I was among those who just referred these kind of solution, who built these kinds of solution like so many times. Then I got to know, okay, this is the way, this is the thing that we need to cover. And I am just explaining these concepts in the easiest manner that I got to know after like you can say so many years. Yeah, like I was just learning these things and I was just failing, and then I just rebuilding. So do not need to worry. Just just rewatch this part, and then you can just perform the further activities. Simple. I am here. I'll be guiding you each and everything from scratch, so do not need to worry. It's fine. It's fine. You are my data family. Ansh Lamba's data family is the strongest data family on this planet. Just trust me. Just mark my words. Just mark my words. So once we have this activity, then we will just perform true and false activity, as we have just discussed that if this condition is true, we want to copy our data. Now we will go inside this if condition. See, we're building such a complex solution, but that makes you skillful. Okay, so just click on this pencil button. Now we are inside this if condition. See, first of all, we just selected this one, only selected files, that is our main pipeline. Then we entered this for each, then we entered this if condition, and within that if condition, we are inside this true activity. I will also tell you how to trigger this pipeline automatically. Just wait and watch. Now is the like fun part of the course has started, because now like we'll be covering like all the real-time scenarios and complex solutions. Yeah, that's fun. So now we want to perform copy activity. I will simply write copy data, and I will call it as copy fact data. That makes sense. Fact data. Okay. Now what is our source? Now what is, let's say, copy fact data. Simple. Now what is our source? Source is our destination folder. But here is a catch. What catch now? Bro, what is the catch now? We will be building parameterized data sets. Parameterized data set. What does it mean? I will first create it and I will just tell you how we can just interpret those parameterized data sets, because these solutions are hard to find. I know, but now you have found me, so don't worry. So first of all, I will create a new one, and obviously the source is data lake. Click on continue. Obviously data file format is CSV. I will name it as parameterized dataset. Parameterized source, let's say parameterized source CSV. Link sub is the same, right? Now I will do something advanced right now. Just wait and watch. Your boy is here. Boy, yeah, I'm not a like, yeah, I'm young, yeah, so boy, yeah, it's fine. Okay, so just click on browse button. So just select your destination folder, which is your source. Not source, but yeah, name of the folder is destination, but it is acting as a source. Select this, select your folder. That's it. Do not select any file. No. Why? Let me tell you. So, so, let's say you have, here third file as well, which is called as fact sales, let's say 2 or let's say 3.csv, doesn't matter. Okay, first of all, it will just check this file. It will just perform copy activity based on this file. Why? Because it is matching the condition. Yeah, okay. It will not perform copy activity on this because it is not matching the condition. Okay, then in the third iteration, it will again match the condition. If we select this file here, how it can pick this file? How? So what we gonna do? What we gonna do right now? Just tell me, just tell me, just tell me. Just tell me. I will show you what we gonna do. So basically, we will create something called parameter. Parameter, yeah, parameter. And let's create a parameter called x. X, yeah, let's create a parameter y. I don't like x. Yeah, let's create a parameter called y. Okay. Okay, so parameter is y. So I will copy my data first with this value, then with this value. So by this way, I can change the value of my file, which is a parameter, with every iteration. With every iteration. Got it? Let me just show you as well. Like, what do I mean? So here, I will obviously pick this thing. Root folder is this one. Let me cancel it. So this is your browse button. Loading, loading, loading. We do not want loading. Just load quickly. Oh man, come on. Yeah, destination. Then CSV files. That's it. That's it. That's it. Click on OK. Now this thing is empty. Now every time we have a condition satisfied, which is like if condition is satisfied, we want to perform copy activity and we want this file name dynamically entered here instead of hard coding it. Got it? Yeah. So how we can do that? Simply click on this advanced tab and click on open this dataset. So what it will do? It will just create the dataset and it will just take us to the edit mode of that dataset. Firstly, close this one because I need more space. So this is my file path. So here, first of all, I will create parameter. I will call it as file name, P file name. P stands for parameter. p file name and there's no default value. So then I will just go to connection. Then if I just go back, now this thing is empty. So how we can just fill it? I will just click on this and I will call it as add dynamic content because we want to add a parameter here. Click on it, click on p file name. Okay, now this value is a parameter. This value is a variable. Like obviously like functionalities are same, so do not get confused. You can either use variable or parameter. So this is a kind of, why I'm saying variable, because we are like, we have already studied like mathematics, so we call there is that, call it as like variable xyz. I have personally learned mathematics in deep, so I know. So this is your parameter which we can provide the values to it dynamically. So now this is done. Now you need to find your copy activity. Where is that copy activity? Where is that copy activity? So the copy activity is here. Perfect. So now we will see something different. What's that? It is asking us, hey bro, you have provided the parameter. Yeah, we provided it. It is asking us just provide the value as well. Yeah, it is asking us just provide the value as well. Do not leave that parameter blank. I'm not fool. I will not fill it. Like I know your teacher used to say this, like just do your homework. I'm not the one who will do it. So similarly, it is saying if you have created the parameter, you have that empty box, just provide the value. Now how we will just provide the value? I think you now know the answer. The file name is coming from the loop. Is coming from the loop using that item dot name. Got it? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so simply click on it and now just fill this box with dynamic content. I know the level is so up right now, right? But that's how you grow. That's how you become an outlier in the crowd, because everyone knows how to build simple solutions. Everyone knows how you can just be an outlier in that crowd by building these solutions, by building like these kinds of scenarios, by providing solutions to these kinds of scenarios, right? Right. And on the top of it, you are my data family. You gonna conquer your interviews, like everything, not just the interviews. If you are a data engineer, they should feel that you belong to this data family, which is very, very competent, which is very, very skillful. So just to be competitive enough. Okay. Okay, so now we will just provide the file name. So we already know that file name is item, which is the for each activity output dot name. Yeah, I know you remember. So once we have provided this item dot name, what it will do, it will specifically copy only that file name for every iteration. Let's say in the first iteration, it receives fact sales, it is approved. It will just give that file name to, let's click OK first. It will just give that file name to this parameter, which is our file name. It will copy that. In the second iteration, it will see file2.csv. There is no starts with like fact, so it will just ignore it. Then maybe like in future we have like one more file. If it is, let's say, fact3 something, there's a fact, yes, it will just provide that file name to this parameter. So this way we can perform copy activity on like any number of files. We do not need to worry. Then in the sync, now in the sync, we need to create a new dataset for our sync, which is a new dataset because we are pointing our output to reporting container, which is a new one. Simply click on it and data is like data lake, CSV, perfect. And I will say it as reporting sync. Simple. Linked sub is the same, obviously, data lake. Now we can just select the folder, which is reporting. And there's no folder, I guess, but we can create, let's say, CSV files. Yeah, CSV files. Now again, what is the file name? It will be changing dynamically. We just saw it, right? Same stuff, just perform on your own now. Just perform on your own. That's your homework. Just perform on your own. So click on advanced, open this data set. Oops, do not import the schema. Click on open this dataset. So click on properties again, just to have more space. Then the same way, we will provide the file name. We can just call it as p file name again. Yeah, you can just use same parameter name. There's no harm, because that parameter file name is like in different data set. This parameter file name is in different data set, so do not need to worry. So this is done. Go to connection again, and in the file name, add dynamic content, use that parameter, click OK. Now same thing, just find that activity. Here it is. Click on sync. Now same step, we just need to define the file name, @item dot name. Simple. Just click OK. Bro, you have developed the solution. You have developed the solution. Once you see that green mark on your pipeline run, you're gonna tap your back, because you have definitely done a great job. So simply click on the first pipeline, that is only selected files. Click on it. Now we will see the solution. See, you have built a beautiful solution. So this is your get metadata. Let me just give you an overview what we have done so far. This is get metadata activity. It will just give us all the child items. Then we will just iterate through each. Click on it. Click on this expand button. Click on this pencil button. Once we have the each entity, we will apply if condition on top of it. What is the condition? Condition is this one. If that file name starts with fact, then only perform this copy activity. Click on this pencil button. This copy data activity. This copy data activity will dynamically copy the files. Wow, that's really an end-to-end solution. End-to-end solution, bro. End-to-end solution. We learn while having fun, but we learn the real skills. We learn the real skills. That's the difference. Because I don't like boring sessions and boring lectures. No. Like let me just hit run, and then I will just share a story of mine. Are you excited to run this? This is a really complex solution. Let me just click on debug button. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. So while this pipeline is running, let me just share my not a story, like just a thing, normal thing. So I used I used to be a backbencher, but my whole group was so studious, and we were the type of group who used to have so much fun in the class, and at the same time used to score like highest numbers. Just be like that. Just be like that. Do not feel like if you are just seeing like boring lectures, that should be fine. No, bro, I don't like boring lectures. No. Just have some fun. Just enjoy your learning. Just make your learning enjoyable. You should feel happy. See, another reason to for the happiness. I can see all the greens. And I was expecting one red at least, because this was very complex solution, very hierarchical solution, activity inside activity inside activity, and this is successful. But I will only feel happy if I see the results, because results are the only things that universe sees. Okay, so the result is we should only see fact sales file in the reporting container, not the other one, right? Let's see. Click on your containers, then click on your reporting container, click on CSV files. Fingers crossed, I should see only one file, bro. Please, please, please. Yes! Bam! Bam, bam, bam! Bro, first of all, good job, good job, good job. I'm just virtually tapping your back. Good job, good job, good job, good job. This was really complex solution. Trust me, this was really complex solution. This was a hierarchical solution. Multiple activities were involved. We used parameters. Like, this was mixture of solution. And trust me, this is like one of the most asked interview question as well, like how you can just perform these things. Trust me. Trust me, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you that you are able to build this solution. I'm so happy. Love you, my data fam. Love you. So let's see our activity. Wow, man, this looks so good. This looks so good. So what extra we will be doing? Now, what extra we will be doing? So what extra we will be doing, I will just tell you. I just promised you that we will also talk about triggers. Yes, but there is one more thing that I need to tell you. What's that? What's that? Okay, we haven't talked about data flows, right? And I think this is the best time to talk about data flows. What are data flows? So there's an activity called data flows. I will simply search it first, drag it here, and I will connect this activity here. See, let me just collapse it to have more space. Yeah. So we are developing the solution like this: get metadata activity, for each, then copy, then if, everything. Then once we have data in the reporting container, once we have data in the reporting container, we want to transform that data. We want to apply some transformations, any transformations, like maybe we want to perform group by, maybe we want to perform any kind of like transformation. You can imagine any transformation on data. Maybe we want to filter some records, maybe we want to just select a subset of columns. So we will use Spark for that. Spark, where is Spark? This data flow is using Spark behind the scenes, but you do not need to learn Spark for that. You can just use Spark using drag and drop, using draggy, clicky things, using data flow. And yes, we will learn data flow, the next thing. Yes. And once we have covered this data flow, then we will create the trigger as well to perform this pipeline activity, or let's say to perform this whole solution on its own, because we will not manually running everything, debug everything like again and again. No. And I will also show you how you can schedule your triggers. Like I will just pick a random time and I will just show you how you can schedule that trigger, and it will automatically running your pipeline. It will be fun. It will be fun. Yeah, I know. And there are like some scenarios left that I want to discuss, that we'll be discussing after that trigger. Yeah. So let's quickly see how we can just transform the data. So first of all, click on this data flow. Okay. Then click on this settings button. No, okay, let's first rename it. I will call it as data transformation. Oh man, I'm so hungry right now. Ah, data transformation. Okay, perfect. So just go to settings, and it is saying just attach your data flow, but we don't have. So what? Just click on plus new. This is your data flow. This is your data flow canvas. So what is the name of the data flow? We want to give it as transform CSV. Okay, we will close it. Now the first thing, if you want to transform anything, what is that? Obviously the first thing is source. We need to attach the source. Very good. So I will simply click on this source button, click on it, and we will click on add source. So it will just add a step which is source 1. So first thing we will do, we will just rename it. We will say source CSV, simple. Then it is asking us to provide data set. Obviously we need data to provide to perform transformation. So what is this data set? So I will just create new data set for my reporting page. Okay, click on this plus new, and then data lake, click on continue. What is the format of CSV file? Yeah, this is the one. Very good. Then I will call it as data flow source. Simple. Yes, sir. Simple. Okay. Then link service is same. Link service is always the same. Okay. Then we need to pick the data. We can just click on it, reporting, and just pick the CSV files. And you can either click on this file. If you do not click on this file, it will pick all the files within this folder. Just click on OK. As you can see, this is empty. Still, it will just pick the data. Click on none. We do not need to import the schema. Click on OK. Yep. Simple. Then we need to go to source options. Click on it. It is saying, do you have wildcard paths? What is this wildcard path? So basically, if you want to just perform recursive reading, you can just use this wildcard path, where you can just select the folders and it will automatically pick the files within that. But we are not using that. Okay, so what is the projection? We will import it. How we can import it? So as I just mentioned that we use Spark clusters to run these activities. So there's a button called data flow debug button. See, we need to turn this on, and it will take, I think, some time. And there you can say time to live, like debug time to live. So time to live is a feature that keeps our databricks cluster, not databricks pro, yeah, I was just doing some stuff in databricks. So this is a kind of time to live is a feature which keeps our cluster running. So we want our cluster to run at least for 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour is enough, right? And we will just click on OK. So now it will just turn on our cluster. It will take some time. It can take, I think, 1 to 2 minutes. And till then, I can just go and eat something. I'm really, really hungry. You can also eat something, and I will just come back in few minutes. So our cluster is ready. As you can see, the green sign after data flow debug. Once our cluster is ready, now we can perform some extra functions on top of the things in data flow. Why? Because once our cluster is ready, we can actually see the data. We can actually preview the data. So first of all, we will import projection. What is this import projection? Import projection is basically importing the schema, right? Do not mind my carrot. By the way, you should also eat carrot. Carrot is good for health. So it is just importing the schema right now. Our schema is imported. Now, as you can see, it has automatically decided the schema, like data type is short, timestamp, string, short, string, long, like all the data types for all the columns are decided. You can obviously change it. You can just click on the drag down if you want to manually change it, because obviously it is decided by the Spark. So if you're familiar with PySpark, it is equivalent to infer schema mode in PySpark. No, we are not familiar. Just keep your mouth shut. Okay. Sorry. So basically, infer schema, I will just tell you. Infer schema is basically a function that we have in PySpark where we can just ask Spark, hey, bro, yeah, bro, yeah, bro, hey, bro, can you please decide our schema, or let's say schema for our data? So it automatically decides it. And obviously, if we want to explicitly decide it, we can just do it like this. So not a big deal. Projection is done. Okay. Now, if you want to preview the data, you can just click on it. Just click on refresh button. Now it should just display the data. But if your data flow debug is not ready, if it is not turned on, you cannot see the data. Perfect. Now this is our data, right? We have transaction ID, transaction date, product, customer, so many things, right? So many things. Okay. Now I want to perform some transformations. We will create one data flow. We will try to cover some transformations. I know like these transformations are basic transformation, but still we need to cover it. First transformation, what's that? Basic one, the most used one. What's that? Select transformation. I will simply click on this plus button, the small plus button, click on it. Then I will see all these transformations, See, join, conditional split, lookup, union, schemas, schema modifier like derived column, select, aggregate. There's so many transformations. You can perform almost everything you want. You can even perform YAR window functions, bro. What is YAR? What is YAR? So you can even perform like window functions. Just feel the vibe. Like there are like so many stuff you can do in data flows. You can do almost everything. That's why if you're using data flows, you can completely ignore using PySpark. That doesn't mean that you should, because obviously when you use PySpark, you have some more customizations. You can obviously optimize your code, and there are so many stuff, but I'm just talking about the transformation perspective, that you have all the functions available, right? And obviously for all these transformations, you do not even need to write one line of code. Wow. So first of all, I will use select transformation. Simply click on select. Then obviously I will call it as select columns. Then what does this transformation will do? Basically, as the name suggests, it will just select all the columns that we want. Simply go here. Let's say I do not want to keep loyalty card. I will simply click on it. I do not want to keep quantity. I do not want to keep credit card. Okay. I do not want to keep cost, let's say. So I want to delete these columns. So I will simply click on delete. These are deleted. Now we just have these columns. That's it. If you want to see the data, click on data preview. Click on refresh. Now we will see just like 5 to 6 columns that we have selected. That's it. Not all the columns. So this was our select transformation that we can just perform on this. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have just 6 columns. See, that's it. That's it. Now, I will perform one a complex transformation. Not much complex. You would be familiar with group by. So I want to perform group by on top of this. Let's say I just want, or okay, let's perform group by in the end. Let's perform some more transformations here, just the basic ones. So if you want to filter your data, let's say I just want customer ID, or I do not want customer ID equals to 12. I do not want it. So I can just perform filter transformation. So I can just select on plus button, then I can just go to row modifier, click on filter. Then I will name it as filter rows, because obviously there are like countless transformations. You can just play with it, but I'm just showing you all the important ones that you will be using in day-to-day activities, because these are the ones which will be used very often. So filter condition. What is the filter condition? We need to give the filter condition. So as we just know, just click on this activity. We want customer ID not equals to 12. Let's say customer ID not equals to 12. So we will just write the condition here. So we will say, either you can just write it here, or you can click this open expression builder, because once you click on it, you will see lots of options and you can just select the columns from there as well. Simply click on it. I personally preferred this open expression builder. So this is your expression builder where you can just build the expression. So this is your schema, right? Now I want customer ID not equals to 12. Simple. I will simply say save and finish. Simple. Now I want to say preview my data. So now I should not see basically. So I should see data without 12 and I should not see 12. See, now I don't have 12. So we have filtered our records based on that condition. Simple. Now, what's the next thing that we need to perform? So if you just click on this plus button, you have join, you have conditional split. Let's split our data. What is this conditional split? I will show you. I want to split my data based on this payment. We have, I think, 2 to 3 types of payment: Visa, MasterCard, and American Express. Yeah, I want to split my data based on these 3 different types. So I will just simply click on this. I will click on conditional split. So now I will give the condition. So my first condition is, let me just click here. Now basically it will just divide our data into multiple streams. So this will be our one data frame. This will be our second data frame. This will be our third data frame. Where? Yeah, it will be here. So just imagine this is our third data frame. So for that, we just need to define the name, obviously. And we will just name it as, let's say, Visa, right? What is the condition? Open expression builder, simply. And just select payment equals to Visa. Simple. Click on save and finish. Simple. That's it. That's it. If you just write here, let's say, other than Visa, so what it will do, it will just create the data frame. It will just create the stream without any Visa. Payment equals to Visa. Visa means Visa card. So by default, it will just put all those records here. Let me just show you the preview. Obviously, we will create 3 streams. Don't worry. I'm just showing you the preview and I'm just showing you the core things that are being happened behind the scenes. So I will just see data with Visa, right? And in the second stream, in this stream, I will see the other 2 types. Let me just refresh it. Like, we cannot preview this thing because this is giving preview from here. So if you want to just select this specific stream, you need to select here as well, output stream, because by default it just gives the output of the above stream. Just select the other stream. Yeah. And then you should see the other 2 types. See, MasterCard, American Express. Simple. Now we want different streams. Ansh, you just mentioned that we will be creating different streams. So what? I know we will create it. Let's click on this plus button, or let's click on this stream, main stream. Click on it, go to your conditional split, then click on this plus button here. Now we will write here MasterCard, and condition is payment equals to MasterCard. Simple. And the third one is Amex. Simple. And for Amex, we do not need to specify anything because the other rows, then Visa and MasterCard will be going to Amex. So now let's preview the data. Now let's preview the data. Now let's refresh. Yeah, now let's refresh. Why we have created 3 streams? Because I will tell you. Don't worry, I will tell you. Because first of all, let's see the data. See, this is the Visa. This is MasterCard. So we will just see MasterCard records here. Yes, perfect, perfect, perfect. Now in this, the third stream, we will just see the Amex. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Obviously null ones because we have specified any records other than Visa and MasterCard. So all the other records will be here. So there are some nulls. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, that gives rise to a new transformation that we can do. What's that? Let me just tell you. So as you can see, we have nulls. How we can replace nulls? How? Let me just tell you. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. So we know that we have nulls in MX, or it's not just about nulls because we have any value other than Visa and MasterCard, right? So I will create one transformation after this stream, not after these 2 streams, just after this stream. Yes, we can do it. Click on this plus button, then select derived column. Derived column basically an activity which is used to transform a column or add a new column. Just click on this, and I will just name it as derived column. Let's keep it as it is. Let's keep it. Okay, now it is saying select a column. Now you have 2 options. One option, you can pick a new name. If you pick a new name, it will create a new column. If you pick the already existing column, it will just transform it. What we want to do, we want to transform our existing column. So I will just click on this drop down and I will select payment. Perfect. Perfect. What is the expression? I will click on expression builder. I will click on expression builder. Perfect. Now I will pick the expression slash function. So I know that I just want to remove the nulls or replace the nulls with some value, right? So let's see, do we have callis function here? Yes, we do have. So in the callis function, we will write payment. If it has nulls, then replace it with n/a. Perfect. Click on save and finish. Let's now see the data. Now let's preview the data. Now we should not see nulls. We should see NA. Perfect. See? See. Now we have NA instead of nulls. Instead of nulls. Now we have NA. Very good. Very good. Very good. Now I want to perform a group by. Okay. Now I just want to perform a group by based on, let's say on this, right? Let's say on this. So how you can perform a group by? So if you want to perform a group by, you can just find something called aggregate. Click on this. Okay. So let me just first rename it aggregate. So on which thing you want to aggregate? I want to perform group by on customer ID. Nice. I will pick customer ID from here. Then what aggregates you need to perform? What aggregates? So let me see what I will be performing. So this is like column, add or select a column. So I want to pick, I will just perform the max of product ID. I just want to perform max of product ID based on the customer ID. Like what is customer's maximum product ID? So this is the aggregation that I want to perform. So I will simply pick this product ID. And what is the expression? I will pick it from here. So I want to perform max. Let's see, do we have max here? Yeah, we do have. So I will simply say max of product ID. Save and finish. Now let's preview the data. What do we have? Let's preview the data. See, You are performing transformations on the data without even writing single line of code. Everything is just like so easily available to you. You just need to click on boxes, move your mouse, and everything is done. Everything is done for you using Spark. So as you can see, these are all the customer IDs, and these are the maximum product ID based on every customer ID. Simple, yes, simple but powerful, right? Simple but handy. If you do not want to just use codes, you can perform this. Why it is important? Just tell me why. Like, what is the best use case of these data flows? It is very useful when you are working with the ones who do not know much coding. When you are working with the ones when you want to keep things visible to everyone, even to tech people, even to non-tech people, because non-tech people can also understand what's going on. Let me just tell me one thing. Just tell me one thing. If I just show this, if I just show this data flow, or let's say these transformations, can can non-tech people understand this? Like what's going on in this code? Obviously, yes. They will understand this is a source. Then you selected some columns. Then you filtered some rows. Then you splitted this data. Then you aggregated this data. Then you derived one column. It is so understandable, right? You do not need to convey those codings to non-tech people, non-tech stakeholders. That's why industries are adapting these technologies where you do not need to exactly write the code. I'm not saying that it is a replacement for code. No, there are requirements when you should not use code, you should use these solutions. So you should be well versed with all the types of solutions. If anyone comes to you, hey bro, can you do this? You should say, definitely bro. You should behave like this, that you are just ready to perform any kind of solution because you know everything. You should be competitive enough, right? So that's why I'm not saying that this is a replacement for code. No, never. But there are some situations, there are some requirements when you will be actively working with non-tech stakeholders, when they will be part of the development. So you need to just keep everything transparent. So in those types of situations, you should be aware of how you can just build these solutions. Right, right. So this was all about data flow, but one thing is missing. What's that? Sync. We have transformed this data. Now we want to write this data. Now we want to write this data. How we can just write this data? You just need to simply select this plus sign, okay, and then just select sync. Just select sync. When you select sync, obviously you need to first of all rename it. Perfect. And then you will just pick the data set. Let's create a new data set for our data flow. Obviously the location will be data flow gen 2 CSV. Then I will name it as data flow sync. Simple. Link service will be the same. Okay, and then just pick the reporting container. Perfect. Within the reporting container, we will just create a folder called as data flows. Data flows output. Data flow output. Simple. Simple. Perfect. Okay, just click OK, and obviously schema importing no. Perfect. So we have applied here sync. Do you want to see the data? Let's refresh it. And you should always perform one activity before sync. Let me just share that as well. That is alter rows, which allows you to actually uh, perform the operation, insert operation, update operation, upsert operation. So you should always use that. So I will simply use it. You can use this data flow without alter rows as well, but if you are dealing with databases or let's say data warehouses, then you should just use that. It is called alter rows. So what it will do, let me just show you. Let me just rename it first, alter rows. So it asks us like alter row condition. We will say insert if expression 1 equals to 1. What's that? So basically we want to say insert this data only if 1 equals to 1. That means we always want to say the condition is true. That means it will, like, all the time will be inserting the data. If I say condition here, it is like, let's say I open the expression builder, and if I, let's say, product ID equals to 1, let's say, then, oh, type mismatch, I think it is string. Let's click on save and finish. Yeah, in this scenario, it will only insert the data for product equals to 1, but we want to just insert data for all the records. So I will simply say 1 equals to 1. You can put anything, bro. It's not about 1 equals to 1. It's about 0 equals to 0. That means like any true condition, which is always true, which is always true. You can always, like, I can just put like this as well. Ansh equals to pro. No, Ansh equals to Ansh. Ansh is just Ansh. So it is always true, right? Ansh is equals to Ansh. So this way you can just define the condition and you can just provide the sync. So do you want to validate this? You can simply click on validate button and it is done. So it is not important that every time we should just use sync. Yes, we should use sync with at least one stream, but we can ignore using streams with these two streams as well. That's why I didn't want to use this, so that you can learn that if you want to just filter this data and you do not want to actually write this data, you can do this. If you want to write this data as well, no worries, you can just use sync operation, like sync activity, and you can just attach it and you can just use your data set. It will write this particular data set to the location, but you can ignore this as well. This is very confusing when someone asks you, because obviously it is very confusing, right? Like, why we are just creating streams then, but it is possible, it is doable. You can just ignore writing this data to a sync. Yes, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So we have created this beautiful data flow. See, we have created this beautiful data flow. So what this data flow will be doing, it will be triggered after this pipeline, after our main pipeline, which one? Yeah, this one, which will be triggered after this. Yeah. So it will automatically pick the data from reporting and it will write that data to the sync. And which is the sync? It is a data flow folder within the reporting container. Right? Are you excited to do that? Yes, I am excited, but you should publish all your work before doing that, because it is very important to save your work, save your progress. By the way, it is good if you do not publish your data, you have to do it again. Why I'm doing that? Because obviously you will learn a lot if you just do it again and again, right? I know, bro, I know. So this is done. I do not want to run this activity right now. Why? I told you that we'll be using a trigger to run this activity. So for that, we will attach a trigger. So I will call it as add trigger. Click on it. I will say new. So now it will ask me to pick a trigger. I do not have any trigger. So it will say, okay, let's create new. I will say, okay, let's create new. So this is my trigger name. So I will name it as selected files trigger. Selected files trigger. Simple. Now what type of schedule trigger, like not schedule trigger, what type of trigger we want to use? We want to use scheduled trigger because we want to schedule this pipeline. We want to schedule this pipeline, right? So we will pick schedule trigger. Basically, we can also use tumbling window trigger. What's the difference between two, schedule and tumbling? Because these are very similar. Basically, schedule trigger and tumbling window trigger are both schedule based triggers because it triggers at a particular interval. But with tumbling window trigger, you can actually run your pipeline using past intervals as well. Whereas in terms of schedule trigger, you cannot run your pipelines in the past interval. Like, you cannot pick past date. But with tumbling window trigger, you can just pick date from the past. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. Simple. So for now, we are not running this pipeline for the past. We are just running for the future. So I will just pick schedule trigger. And what is the start date? What is the start date that you want? Choose the start time. Okay. Let's pick the start time. Start time I want, currently it is 3:42 p.m. here, but I think it takes Atlantic time zone. Okay, then it's fine. Okay, so 3:42 means 15 something. Yeah, and minutes it will be, let's say 45. Let's say. Okay, so hey bro, click on OK. I didn't click on OK. So I want to run my pipeline at 3:45. Okay, click on OK. Perfect. And this is recurrence. Okay, first it will just run our pipeline at 3:45. Next run will be running at what time? It is like for after 15 minutes. And you want to specify end date? Yes, definitely want to specify end date. I want my trigger to end at 15 uh 50, I guess. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Okay, and recurrence is like after 15 minutes, but our trigger will be completed before that. Okay, so this is start trigger on completion. I can click on OK, and for that I just need to publish it. Make sure to publish the changes after clicking OK. Okay, 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 bro, I will follow your instructions, bro. So if you want to trigger your trigger so you need to just click on publish all. So click on publish. Yes, perfect. So now how we can just check our trigger, because we want to see if this works or not, right? I will simply go to monitor tab, sorry, manage tab, and then you can see their triggers here. Click on this, and then it is status is started. So it should automatically trigger my pipeline after 1 minute, because it is 3:44. I'm going to my monitor tab. I do not have anything right now because nothing is running right now, but after few seconds I should see my pipeline here running. I should see that pipeline here running, and everything will be running again. It will just get the metadata. It will again write my fact like CSV file again, and it will run that data flow, and we will see the output there in the new folder. Let's see, and fingers are crossed. Fingers are crossed. Let's eat the rest of the carrot. So the thing is, when it will automatically triggering the pipeline, that's what we want in the real life, because we want our activities, our data pipelines will be running automatically without any human inter human intervention. Yeah, I'm just eating carrot, so don't mind me. Human intervention. Let me click on refresh button because it is 3:45, so it should trigger right. Yeah, yeah. So now you can see status is in progress. That means our pipeline is running automatically. I didn't run it. It is running automatically by that trigger. Now we can also click on it. It will show us all the activities that it has performed so far. So it has performed get metadata, for each, if, copy, if. Now it is performing data transformation automatically. And you can see the duration that it has taken, like 16 seconds, 20 seconds, 15 seconds, 14 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Not 2 seconds, it is running. It takes some time because it is running transformations. And obviously transformations take time. Spark clusters are just performing transformations on top of it. So it takes some time, not much time. You should feel happy that you have developed an end-to-end solution using trigger. Now we will build one more pipeline, and that will be full of fun, because we will cover another trigger, and that is a very special kind of trigger and very powerful, trust me. Because I will show you that should be suspense. I will show you, and we will learn all the like other activities that are important and that are not covered yet. I will cover all those activities as well. And yes, we will be covering other triggers as well, and that trigger name is storage based trigger, storage events trigger, storage block trigger. You can call it anything. It is very powerful. It is very powerful. I personally love that trigger. Trust me. So, and at the end, we will create like one big pipeline in which we will be add these small pipelines, and we will run everything together. Okay, so it is still running. Data transformation are still running. It has been running since past 1 minute 41 seconds. It's 2 minutes now. Yeah, it takes some time. It takes some time. Don't worry, because that is like performing transformation on top of your data, so it takes some time. Don't worry. I know you are learning a lot, and I'm really happy. And now we'll be just quickly covering the other activities and other pipeline, and that is really interesting. Really interesting. Really interesting. So let me just finish my carrot, and let me just see like when we have the output of this one, and once we have all the greens, I will just start the next pipeline, the new pipeline, in which we will be covering all the other activities and storage blob triggers, storage based triggers, or you can call it as anything. The common thing is it is based on the storage path. Yeah, it is very special. I will show you. Let me just finish this carrot. So as you can see, all are green. Finally, we have run the data flow using trigger. Not just the data flow, we have triggered the whole pipeline. Whole pipeline. Do you want to see the output? Let me just take you to the reporting container, and oh, we have a new folder that we created, data flow output. I just want to click on it, and I should see this file now. Bro, what is this? What is this? So basically, when we do not pick any file name, and when we are using Spark to write our data, it uses this naming convention, part 00000 something, and this success file shows that data is not corrupted, data is copied, or let's say written is successfully. So if you, this is in CSV format, don't worry. And let me just click on it, and let me just click on the edit tab. I should just see the two columns. Yes, we have just two columns. That means we have successfully used. Let me just go to the author tab. Wow, man, we have just created this pipeline, end-to-end pipeline, and we have created such a complex solution because we have like 3 to 4 level of hierarchy in this particular activity. I'm really happy for you that you have learned all of these things. Now, what we gonna discuss? Let me tell you. Now, let's talk about this activity, set variable activity. It is very useful when we build complex solutions, and if we want to use value of something and if we want to store that value, we have a specific activity for it. So you can just imagine how useful it is. It is very easy to perform. We do not need to configure anything, but its use cases are really handy and really helpful. So one useful use case can be like, let's say you have an activity. Okay. Let's say you have an activity. Okay, let's cover one real-time scenario. Okay, I just remember that. I was just thinking about that particular scenario. So the thing is, let's say you are performing get metadata activity, right? Where you see the number of files, like not number of files, like all the child items and everything, right? If I want to store that information in a variable, how can I store it? I can just create a variable and I can store that information in that particular variable. Yes. I can also perform dynamic content on top of this set variable activity. Let's say I want to store that child items and I want to specifically pull something, let's say a particular file. I can do that as well. Like set variable is a kind of variable like XYZ, and you can store anything means anything, like output of the activities, or let's say pipeline run IDs, everything. It is very handy. And why it is so useful? Because we can just connect this activity with the further activities. Let me just show you this powerful activity, and it is really helpful, trust me. And we gonna cover that particular scenario as well. What's that scenario? I will just tell you in detail in Azure Data Factory, and it is related to get metadata. Yeah. So we are in our Azure portal account. So for that, I will just simply create a new pipeline. So I will call it as var pipeline. Simple. And I will simply first of all copy that get metadata activity that we have already created. So it will save our time. Simply click on it, Control C, and go to where pipeline, click on this canvas, then Control V. Perfect. So this is the get metadata activity. Okay. So obviously we know that what it returns an array because we have selected child items, right? So now, first of all, I will create a variable in this pipeline. Simply click on this blank canvas, go to variables plus new. I will say var files, var files. Now, what will be the data type for it? It will be an array because we are storing array in it. We are storing array. So now we will just pick set variable activity from here, just drag it here and just pick on success and then click on this set variable. I can just give the name like store files. Let's say I want to store that information in this particular variable, right? Click on settings. Now it will say which variable you need to pick. Click on the drop down var file. So it will store this information in this variable. There are two options: pipeline variable, pipeline return value. So if we select pipeline variable, it will return the value in this particular variable, in this particular output. But if we select pipeline return value, then we can use the output of this pipeline in the other pipeline of this value of this set variable activity. It is so powerful. So for now, we will just select pipeline variable, and then what do we need to select? What is the value that we need to provide? Click on it, add dynamic content. As I just told you that you can use dynamic content, click on it, and then click on get metadata output activity dot child items. Perfect. Now I will run it. I will click on debug. So you will see that it will store that value and I will show you the value as well. It succeeded. Let me just click on this output button because this is get metadata activity, right? We can also show it as well, no worries. So this is the output and I wanted to store this information, right? Now I will show you the output. Simply click on it, expand it. See, I stored only that information which is var files, which was like child items, and I can see both the values here. See, now I can connect anything after this and I can use this value. See how powerful it is. It can hold, it can store the values for you whenever you will be running the pipelines. It is so powerful. So powerful. Got it? Got the concept? Now I will show you something special that is called storage events trigger. What's that? What's that? What's that? This is the trigger that we were talking about. So are you excited to learn this trigger? So basically, like let me explain like what is it. So basically, do you remember that we were performing one copy data activity on a source and we called it as like manager pipeline, if you remember? And the scenario was manager was dropping one file, right? And we were copying this file and we were dropping this file to the destination folder. And being a data engineer, we already said that we will be just automating everything. So if we want to schedule this pipeline, let's say I schedule this pipeline after 15 minutes, it will be copying the data after 15 minutes continuously. Let's say manager, just focus on this part because this is really a real-time scenario. Plus interviewer will definitely ask you about this trigger and use case as well. And obviously if you answer both the questions, the third question will be how you can implement it. So just be focused. So the scenario is, let's say your manager just dropped this file in the morning. Okay, Your pipeline just ran after 15 minutes and you just drop this data here. Okay, that's sorted. But then that manager didn't add any file after that. Didn't add any file. Any file means any file. But he adds or she adds file next day. Okay, then again, like after 15 minutes your pipeline ran and you just copied the data here, right? Then after 2 minutes she or he uploaded another file just after 2 minutes, or let's say after 3 minutes. Then your pipeline ran and you drop the data here. So the dependency here is on the manager, because you do not know when he or she will add the data in your source. You do not know, but his or her requirement is that as soon as he or she adds a file in the source, your pipeline should do some magic and should drop the data in the container, in the destination container. You will be like, what are you saying, bro? You should tell me when you will be just dropping and you will be just adding data in the source, and then I can just schedule it. Or you will just tell me the time, like let's say at 9 a.m. you will just add the file, so that I can just add a schedule trigger to my pipeline, so my pipeline will be running at 9 a.m. daily. You should just tell me this. Your manager said no, I won't tell you, because I can even drop the file at 2 a.m. in the night. Yeah, and you being a data engineer needs to just copy the copy the data into the container immediately. One option is like just be awakened like for 24 hours and just see his or her message and just copy the data. Second thing is you should learn about this trigger, storage events trigger. Okay, so will it solve the problem? Yes. You do not need to be awakened, don't worry. So the thing is, this trigger will do some magic. This trigger will automatically trigger the pipeline once he or she will add the data here automatically. And there's one more thing, it will automatically stop the pipeline as well just after it is completed. Then even your manager adds the data, let's say after 5 minutes, it will again automatically trigger again. That's the power of this storage events trigger. Yes, that's why it is one of the favorite triggers, because you do not need to depend on anyone. Your pipelines are independent. You can say to your manager, okay, even if you just add the data at 3 a.m., my pipelines will immediately copy the data to the container. Yes, this is the answer. This is the answer, right? And are you excited to learn this solution? This is very powerful. Let me just show you how you can build this. So let's go to our Azure Data Factory. So how we can do this? First of all, I think you understood the thing that we are doing. So this is our source where our manager is dropping this file, right? And the pipeline for this is this one, pipeline manager. So we will attach storage trigger to this particular pipeline, which will trigger the pipeline automatically when we will be having data. When we will be having data automatically, trust me, I will just show you each and every step that you can perform. Just hold on. So first of all, I will write add trigger. Okay, just write add new, and we do not have any trigger, so plus new. Okay, I will call it as manager trigger. Yeah, because obviously this pipeline is dependent on your manager, right? So I will call it as manager trigger. This, like the type of this trigger will be storage events. See, storage events. Click on this. Now you need to pick the storage account. So I will just first of all pick my subscription, then storage account will be storage data factory Ansh. Then we need to provide the path. Yes, here as you can see, blob path begins with or ends with, you can just provide any one thing. If you just hover over on this, you also need to provide the container name in this format. In our scenario, it is source. Simple. Then blob path begins with. If you just hover over this I button, it will say blob path. Let me just zoom it. Blob path must begin with the path. That means after container, what do you have? The folder. In our case, it is CSV files. Then within that, we have a file, file1.csv. And do you know the best thing about it? Do you know the best thing? If your manager, okay, let's add some complexity. Let's add some complexity. If now let's do it. If your manager says, I will only upload this particular file, but he or she can upload some files, like some other files by mistake, but your pipelines should not get triggered if she or he adds wrong files. What? You are becoming so choosy right now, but it is what it is. If she uploads any other files, let's say she uploads contacts files, let's say, and she then after 2 minutes she realized, oh, I just uploaded wrong files. So you should not copy that data. So your pipelines should be performant enough, should be resilient enough to pick the right file as well. So here is the magic. Here is the magic. What you can do, you can define the complete path, and you can say, okay manager, I will just provide you the complete path. And you can just see, we need to say CSV files. Just hover over this. If you just get confused, just write this thing. We just zoom it. 2018, in our case it is CSV files. Then the file name. File name you can just simply copy from here, fact underscore sales underscore one, and let's remove this single quote. I don't think so we need to add. We will see if we need to add it or not. CSV files, then fact sales one dot csv. Finish. Then it is asking us how you should trigger your pipeline. We will trigger our pipeline once the blob is created. That means once the file is uploaded. Okay. Click on blob created and then continue. Then continue. Click on continue and continue here as well. And then obviously we will just click on publish. But before publishing it, I will do something else as well. So as you know that we have a file here, and we have said once we have a file, it will trigger our pipeline. If this file will be 24/7 here, our pipeline will be running one after another. Like it will be just running again and again and again. So we need to make sure once the data is copied, we can delete this file because this file is successfully copied. Once this is successfully copied, only then we will just delete it. So here is your new activity that you are going to learn, which is delete activity. Delete activity. So here we will say delete file. Simple. And what is the source? Source is I think it is source. What was the name of? Yeah, CSV source. Okay. So this is the source, and we can even preview the data to confirm, okay, this is the right source. Yeah, this is the right source. Okay. Then logging settings. No, we do not need to enable the logging. Then on success, we will connect this node. Now you know the importance of these nodes. We will not say on completion. We will say once this data is successfully copied, only then delete the files. Otherwise, do not delete the file, right? This is the pipeline. This is the automated pipeline. We are not doing anything manually here. Not doing anything manually. Okay. Let's publish all. And let me also delete this file first so that you can see the difference. Let me just delete this file. We will again re-upload this to test the trigger. Now we have nothing here. Okay. Let me just click on publish, because publish button is important if we want to use the trigger. So now it is publishing the changes. Now our pipeline is ready. This pipeline failed to get subscription status. So as you can see, we can see some errors like fail to activate the trigger and fail to get the subscription status on the storage event. Do you know the reason? The thing is, if we want to use the special kind of trigger, we need to actually register. We need to actually register our subscription for that particular storage trigger. So obviously that's a new ADF account. That's why we need to do that. And obviously this subscription does not have that particular registration. So how we can do it? It's very simple. So simply go to your home tab, then just click on the subscriptions, and then you can just pick your subscription in your scenario and just close this. I think you can just go to resource providers. Yeah, I think it is here. And see, some services are not registered, some are registered. So you just need to search regarding event something. So it should be Microsoft events based trigger, something like that. It should be something somewhere here. Microsoft event. So it will be here. See, so as you can see, Microsoft event grid. So you need to register on this service, and my subscription doesn't have this registered yet. So I can simply click on these three dots and I can just click on register. So you can do it like this. So now it is registering that. It will take, I think, just few seconds, and once it is done, then we will be able to add that trigger. And let's see how long it takes, because earlier like they used to add the service by default, so now they have just asked us to just manually enable it. Yeah, because there's a kind of special feature, so maybe we are just special people to use that trigger. Just kidding. So just enable it. It will take some time. So once it is turned on, then we can just start using our trigger, and we are just good to test our pipeline, because we have developed our pipeline. So we just want to test it. So our event trigger is registered successfully. Now we can just go back to our ADF, and then we can just refresh it. Just make sure that you have published your resources before clicking on publish all. Otherwise you will lose all your progress. So let's see, do we have that trigger or do we need to create one? So let's see, new, and this manager trigger, let's get rid of it, let's detach it, and let's create a new one. Add trigger, new and edit, and then obviously new trigger. So we will name it as man trigger, let's say, and this time obviously storage events trigger, and then pick your subscription. Storage account name, in my scenario it is storage data factory. Blob starts with, basically we need to just give the container name first, so it is source, and blob path starts with CSV files. We are just repeating those steps, don't need to worry. CSV files, and then we have we do not have right now, but we will have one.csv. Simple. And event type is obviously blob created. Click on continue, click on continue, click on OK. Now we should not see any error when we click on publish all. Let's see. Let's see. Do we see any error or not? So now it is publishing, and once it says okay, it is published, then we can just re-upload that file, and we should see our pipeline is triggered automatically without any manual intervention. So let's see, it is being published. Just hold on for a few more seconds, and I think it will just publish it. It will publish it successfully this time. See, publishing is completed. The only thing was that registration was not registered, so now it is registered, so no errors. Now are you excited to see the status? So currently we can only see this trigger. Obviously these are pipeline runs that we ran just few minutes back when we were just testing our like schedule trigger. Now just go on trigger runs. So currently, let me just refresh it. Now you can see that we do not have anything running. We do not have anything running for that particular trigger, that is man trigger. But now it will trigger our pipeline automatically. Let me just show you. So now I will just go to my storage account, right? Where's my storage account? It is inside this. Okay. Now what I will do, I will just upload that particular file here in this folder. And once I upload this data, I should see my pipeline is triggered. I should see that trigger. Let's see. Let's see. Let me just upload it. Just click on upload button. You can also do the same steps. Let me just click on upload button. So I have selected this file. So once I will click on this upload button, it should trigger our pipeline. Let me just click on this upload button. Now our data is uploaded. Let's see the status. Let me just refresh it. Let me just refresh. Yes, it is triggered. It is triggered. Man trigger is automatically triggered. Woohoo! Let me just see the status of it. Let me click on it. So if you just want to see the run, just click on this one button. Now it will just take you to the pipeline run. Okay, it has successfully triggered our pipeline. It has successfully triggered our pipeline, and you can see that it is automatically triggered. And do you know the best thing? It has automatically deleted that file as well, so that it cannot trigger that pipeline right away. See, if I just see, it should be deleted. Let me just refresh it. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So now I will test it for one more time, and this time I will add some other file, because we covered this scenario that if our manager just adds some random data, it should not trigger a pipeline, right? Let me just add some other data, which is like not known as fact underscore sales and something like that. Okay, let's do that. So I have picked one random file which is called as 2010-1208.csv. So I will now click on the upload button. Now I should not see the trigger. I should not see. Let me just click on upload button. Okay, file is uploaded. Let me check. Let me just check the status of it. Let's go to trigger runs. Let me just refresh it. Refresh, refresh, refresh. See, our pipeline is not triggered. Why? Because it does not have anything. It does not have anything. Because it needs to be exactly that data file. That's our condition that we put in our trigger. So our pipeline now can pull the data immediately the moment our manager submits the data, even at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. We do not need to run our pipeline manually. And obviously, we do not need to waste any kind of computation, because it will not run anything. It will not run anything, right? This was so powerful trigger. Like I love this trigger. I love this trigger. So now it's time to sum up our all the pipelines, and we will just discuss one more important activity, which is called as execute pipeline. So we can embed pipelines within pipelines. That means we can just create a one big pipeline, and we can embed child pipelines within that. This is so cool. This is so cool. So now we will be creating one big pipeline which will be embedding child pipelines within it. Let me show you how you can do it. It is execute pipeline activity. So let's say this is our main pipeline. Like this blue box is our main pipeline, and within this pipeline we have execute pipeline 1, then we have execute pipeline 2. That means first this pipeline will be running. After it is successful, this pipeline will be running. So we can attach the trigger with the parent pipeline. This pipeline is called as parent pipeline. These are the child pipelines. So, or let's say children, because these are two pipelines. So we can just attach our trigger to this parent pipeline with that was like storage based trigger. We can just attach this trigger to the parent pipeline instead of this one. So what will happen? What will happen? Do you want to know the full flow? What will happen? Let me just tell you. So let's say this is our parent pipeline. This is our parent pipeline. Okay, because we gonna just build end-to-end solution right now, because we will be just combining all the pipelines, all the activities one by one. And let me just tell you what's gonna happen. Okay, so first of all, this execute pipeline will get triggered, which is based on your manager's data. So let's say the manager adds data, right? Even at 2 a.m. Even at 2 a.m. Once manager adds data at 2 a.m., it will copy the data, right, to the destination. Then after it is added to the destination, this activity will pull the data from the GitHub. That is our fact sales 2. If you remember, that data is sitting there. then both the files, okay, both the files will go to the get metadata activity, then they will go to for each activity, then they will go to if condition, then they will go to copy activity, then our data flow will be running. Wow, that's fun, man. And to perform this activity, that like the activity that I'm going to perform right now, I will delete all the data. We will see how our pipeline can pull all the data automatically. I will just remove all the data and I will just create a trigger, and I will say, hey, this is my pipeline, this is my production pipeline. So once we have data in the data lake, everything will be triggered automatically. I'm just going to do some kind of orchestration which will create our production pipeline. Let's do that. So first of all, I will just detach all the triggers attached to any pipeline, because we will attach the main trigger with our parent pipeline. Let me just show you. So I will just go here and I will call it as detach. It is detached. Okay. Now I will go to only selected files and I will say detach. Now no activity or no pipeline is attached to any trigger. So if you remember, this activity, this activity will be running after our this activity, pipeline manager. So let me just give you an overview again what we are doing right now. First of all, let's go to data lake. Okay, this is source. Okay, so this is our source container, right? Let's say we have nothing here. We have nothing here. Let me just remove everything, because we will be doing everything from scratch. This is our production pipeline. Okay, let's remove everything from here as well, as this is our production pipeline. Okay, we have nothing here. We just have source, and this source is not managed by us. This is managed by our manager or any stakeholder. Let's take any stakeholder, like let's say a business analyst or anyone. The person will drop the file here. Simple. It will drop, he or she will drop the file here. That file should exactly match with fact underscore sales underscore one dot csv. That is the strict restrictions that we have from the manager. Got it? Once we, bro, be serious, because I'm just explaining the workflow. Once we have that file, it will go to this destination into the csv files folder. Perfect. One file is there. Then it will bring the data from the GitHub. If you remember, we just pull the data from GitHub as well. It will go there. So it will copy this data as well. It will drop this data where? In the destination CSV files folder. Perfect. Perfect. Once that data arrives in destination container, it will trigger this pipeline, only selected files. This validation activity will check if we do have any files. If yes, then it will go to get metadata activity. It will bring all the child items. Then it will go to for each CSV. If it has any array, obviously it will give the child items. It will go inside this and it will perform that if condition. What is that condition? If that file starts with fact, then perform the copy activity. Perform copy activity in all the files which are starting with fact. Perfect. Okay, once it is done, we will perform data transformation using data flow. Perfect. Understood the end-to-end flow? I hope so. Now how we can just build the end-to-end flow? I will just create one new pipeline and I will call it as parent pipeline. Let's say parent pipeline or prod pipeline. Let's call it as prod pipeline. Perfect. Then I will use an activity called execute. Yes, and I will say execute manager pipeline, perfect. Go to settings, select that pipeline, which is this one, pipeline manager. Perfect. Then I will add another execute pipeline. I will call it as on success. Obviously I will call it as execute on selected files pipeline. Yeah, because I'm just keeping the name same from here on selected to this one, so it will just remove any confusion, right? What is the pipeline? Only selected files. Perfect. Now I will attach the trigger. Add trigger, new edit, choose trigger, and which trigger I need to attach? Man trigger. Why? Because we need to trigger the whole the parent pipeline based on that a file being added to that particular container. Perfect. Everything is fine. Perfect. Click on continue. Click on continue for one more time. Click on OK, and now click on publish all. Wow, what is this? Publishing error. Validation of model. Trigger selected files trigger cannot be activated and contain no pipeline. Which one? I think it is related to the trigger that we have already selected files trigger. Oh yeah, we need to delete it because obviously this trigger is not being used by any other pipeline. So obviously I could have just stopped it as well, but I do not need it. Now I can just try for one more time, like for publishing all. Click on publish all and let's see. I think that should be the scenario. I don't know, like, is there any other issue now? Let's see. It is just trying to publish it. And once we have published it, I will also test this parent pipeline, test this production workflow, end-to-end workflow without any manual intervention, without any manual step. We will just drop the file and everything should be triggered automatically. And once it is done, you gonna tap your back, you gonna feel so relaxed and at the same time feel happy because you have learned so much in Azure Data Factory, including like triggers and everything. Let's see if it is done. Yeah, it is still like in progress. See, so let's wait for like few more seconds, and once it is done we can just test it. Let's see. So publishing is completed. As you can see, the status of publishing is successfully completed. Now I'm gonna test this whole pipeline. Now I'm gonna test this whole parent pipeline, or you can say production pipeline. And you already know the test case. We will just drop the file in the source in the CSV files with that fact underscore sales underscore like one.csv. Once we upload that, we should see this whole production pipeline should be triggered, and we can just go to manual like monitor tab, and we should see that trigger here. And let's see the status. Okay, let me just upload the file. Click on upload and you can just upload the file. So now I am just about to click on this upload button because I have selected my file. So finally let's click upload. Perfect. Let's cross the fingers and let's see the result. Let me just refresh it. Perfect. Perfect. But wait, we need to see the green signs in the child pipelines as well. So let me just click on this one button because I can see my man trigger is triggered. Let me just click on one sign, click on this button. Now I should see green in both the child pipeline, because the whole workflow gonna just be restarted because there's no data. I removed all the data in front of you. So now I should see all the data back again, and let's see how it goes. I'm really excited. Okay, first pipeline is successful. I should see green on the second pipeline as well. Finally, we are just about to complete the whole course, and I hope that you learned a lot. I hope that you covered some real-time scenarios using triggers, using like so many real-world use cases. And again, like I'm really happy to share this knowledge with you all. And if you feel this course is helpful to you, please help me to grow. I'm really new, I'm really raw, and my whole intent is to just give you knowledge, lots of knowledge related to data engineering. And as you all aware of that, I just upload data on a weekly basis, like long format videos. I am really putting lots of efforts just for you so that you can learn easily. I try to engage with you a lot, and I feel so happy when I just talk to you. I literally feel that I'm just talking to you in person. So trust me, I'm just putting lots of effort. So just help me to grow and just hit the subscribe button, just like the videos, because of you obviously like the more you will engage with the videos, the more I can grow and more you can learn. Just hit the like button, comment, like do comment on the videos, share these videos on like different channels, different platforms. Please help me to grow. Just a small request from my data fam, and I know my data fam is like very helpful to me, and obviously they will help me to grow. And I can like already witness that in the comments, like you guys gave me like so much of love. So let me click on refresh button. Okay, it is still running. Obviously we can expect some time in this pipeline because we are running a data flow as well in this pipeline. So it takes some time if your cluster is turned off, so it takes some time to turn it on. So you can expect some delay, but we should see green sign at the end of this pipeline, because we have worked so hard to build this end-to-end solution, this end-to-end production pipeline. And one more thing, if you want me to build, let's say, an end-to-end project based on ADF, that is Azure Data Factory only, in which I can include more real-time scenarios, more difficult situations, exactly, these are like nothing. We have so much complex solutions in the world of data engineering using ADF. If you want me to cover those solutions in the upcoming videos through projects, just do let me know. So as you can see that our both the pipelines are green. I'm so happy to share all the information with you all. And yeah, like I am so happy that you have built this solution, and trust me, you are learning a lot, and you should feel happy if you have built this solution end to end. If you have not understood all the concepts in one go, even if you have understood all the concepts, I would recommend you to just rewatch some difficult parts, like that activity that we created, like using for each, then if, then get metadata, then copy activity. You can just try to rebuild those complex pipelines, and you can just rewatch that part at least like 2 to 3 times. Trust me, it will definitely help you a lot. Trust me, because I also watched these kinds of concepts, and I also just practice these concepts like many times. So you should also do that. I'm just helping you out, so you should do that. Okay, so now I want to validate everything. I should see my data in every possible container. Okay, let's go to the containers. Okay, first of all, we will check destination folder. It should have two files, fact1 and files2.csv. Let's see. Oh, we just have one file. But why? Why we just have one file? We should have two files. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this? Oh, silly mistake. If you are able to find the mistake, not a big mistake, just a silly mistake, so then it's good. You should find the mistake. So the thing is, we have not included this pipeline get, which is just copying the data from the GitHub. Who will include this? Who will include this? We. So what we can do, there's nothing big thing to worry. So we can just open this pipeline, like execute manager, click on this. It will just open our pipeline manager. So what we can do, we can just bring this pipeline here. So we can simply add execute pipeline. Yes. See, okay. So this is good, because through this activity, you can just even learn that you can connect activities with the pipeline as well. It's not about connecting pipeline with pipeline. No, you can connect activity with pipeline as well. So what we want once our data is copied into CSV, once it is deleted, we want to trigger this pipeline as well. Which one? Git one. So we will just select it, and we will call it as execute Git pipeline. That's good. Git pipeline settings, select that Git pipeline Git, and let me call it as on success. Perfect. Because this was pending, and now it is also done. Is there any other pipeline that we are missing? No. Okay, it's fine. Okay, that's a good test. And these things you should be aware of, and you should be aware of how to fix these things, because troubleshooting or debugging is also an art. And see how quickly we just found the bug. So now what we can do, I will again delete this data. No, it is already deleted because of this delete activity. Wow. So I will just click on publish all. Okay, let's click on publish all. Perfect. It is just publishing the change. It is published. Okay, now we will again, yes, it is important. Now we will again add that file, and we will again trigger the data, and we will finally see the whole production pipeline. Yes, We have to cover each and everything. It's not just about completing the course. No, we are developing skills. So let's upload the file again in the source. So let's go to source. It is empty, obviously, like it has like that random file, but let me just upload that file again. So I have selected the file, and this time it should work fine. It was running fine as well. We saw like greens in all the things. We just forgot to add one pipeline. That was one like copy activity from GitHub. No worries, we will just upload it again. Okay, now we should see our trigger. Let me just go to trigger runs. Is it triggered again? We should see one trigger. Yes, 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 bro. It is triggered. Let me just click on this one button and let me just click on this production pipeline. So now it should show green again in both the activities, in both the pipelines, and then we will see the flow for one more time, and we should see all the files at the correct location. Yes, let's see. We can see that one pipeline has run successfully. Perfect. Now we are just waiting for our second pipeline, and once it is done, we will just validate our data. Bro, I'm so tired. I'm so tired, but I'm really happy. And I know that you loved this video. I know, I know, I know, I know. And just tell me this thing in the comments that you loved this video, and just share it with your friends, with other data enthusiasts. Just try to help them as well. Just help them to grow, and always be curious to know about the trends, the updates, and you already know that this channel is dedicated towards that type of learning, where I just try my best to cover the real time knowledge or real world knowledge that we actually use in the industry. It's also about just covering the fundamentals. It's also about covering the, you can say, basic knowledge, and at the same time covering the real time scenarios as well, because it's not like you just know the basics and you can just crack the interviews or you can just be competitive. No, you should be competitive enough even if you're sitting for the interviews. Obviously you learn when you join an organization, but still you should try your best. You should try your best to learn, to be updated every time. Let me share one scenario with you. So I think yesterday I was learning, not learning, I was just doing, I think, one activity related to delta tables. So I was reading a book related to delta table. I will share it with the with you like in the upcoming videos about that book and like the things that I've learned. So I was just reading some complex topics in the world of delta lake, and I didn't even finish that book, and I got to know that like so many updates in the world of delta lake, and that book was launched just last year. Can you imagine how fast like this industry is growing? And I was just debugging that thing, and I got to know something fishy. I was like, how it can happen, because it is written in this book like this, and this book is the latest one, like it just launched last year. Then I just did some research, then I got to know that they have introduced an update just last month in October 2024. I was like, what? So, and let me just give you a hint. It is related to deletion vectors in delta tables. Do not need to worry. Your boy is here. Your bro is here to tell you each and everything. So in future, I'll be just creating more and more videos, including delta lake in detail. And I have already created one, I think, project and one Databricks masterclass as well. Yes, and I have covered delta lake in detail in that particular video. If you have not watched that video, just go and watch that video. It is very helpful, and I have covered each and everything in the world of delta lake in detail. I will just attach the link in the I button. You can just click on it and you can just learn about that, because delta lake is the thing that we use in the real world, and you can easily learn delta lake watching my video. I'm not just promoting my video, because I know how I have already explained those critical parts in that video. I know, and I know how easily you can absorb that knowledge. Just trust me. You can just watch that video. You will just learn a lot, and in the upcoming videos I will just try to include the updates as well, like the updates in the world of delta lake or any in any tool and technology. You know, You know me, like you know me now. You know me, like this person is like crazy about like data engineering and giving so much of knowledge. So I just need your help, your support. That's it. So let's refresh it. Okay, it ran successfully. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. It has succeeded. Now we should see everything, everything, everything. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, I'm just going to the containers. So first of all, in source, we have that data, right? That our manager uploaded. In the destination, we should see two files now. Please, Azure Data Factory, show us two files. Perfect, 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 perfect. Now these two files are here. Now we will be going to reporting folder, and in the reporting folder we should see only one file in CSV files. Let me click on that. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, only one file, not both the files. Now we will go to data flow output. In this we should only see one file related to, I think, yeah, aggregation file. Remember? Yeah, just click on it. Perfect, 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 perfect. Why we are seeing two files? Because one file is the previous file. As you can also see the time, it's like 5:17, and the latest file is this one, 5:31. And we have used insert option, if you remember, in the data flow, because we do not want to remove this data, because this data is being used by the reporting team, or let's say developer team or BI team. So that's why we cannot delete this data. So that's why we just inserted the new data. Common sense, common sense, common sense. Everything, everything, everything. You have learned everything. So I'm so happy that just few hours back we didn't know anything in the world of data engineering using Azure Data Factory. Now you have built like crazy solution. Just look at your pipelines, man. Just look at your pipelines. See, just look at your pipelines. Just look at your pipelines. So you have used like activities like validation activity, for each activity, and data transformation, validation, get metadata for each activity, data flow. Inside this, you have used if condition. Then within this, you have used copy data activity. In the production pipeline, you have used pipeline after pipeline. You have used git activity. You have used the whole flow, which is automatically triggered using storage events triggered. Like, you have learned so much, so much, so much. I'm so happy to share this information with you. And that was all about today's video. Just share it with the maximum number of people. And here is a surprise for you. I have created a data engineering masterclass video. If you are a total beginner, you do not know anything in the world of data engineering, you can just watch that masterclass. If you want to learn PySpark, that is one of the most in-demand technology right now, you can learn PySpark from scratch. I have created 6 hours long dedicated full course on PySpark, and that is for free. You can just check the video coming on the screen, and I will see you there.